Hi there, my name is Phixfox. Welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition, and today we're going to be going into one of the campaigns in the Price of Loyalty. We are going to be picking up basically in the middle of a campaign where we already have some awards. In this point, we're going to have the following awards present for us. We're going to have the Breastplate of Anduin, which means that we're going to have the +5 to our defense. We are going to have the Elven Alliance, so elves and grand elves are going to be willing to join our army. We are going to have a wood bonus, so our kingdom will have +2 wood per day as if we just have a sawmill present for us. And then we also have the Helmet of Anduin, which increases our spell power by 5. So +5 spell power, +5 defense. We got elves that are going to join us, and we have a free sawmill. And Vamp is saying that this one is very, very hard, and I completely and utterly agree with you. We've seen that I've completed this. I think it was on patch 1.09 is where I did complete this scenario last, and so I'm excited to see where we have a lot of differences. And folks, with that, there's going to be 3 opportunities we have. We can either have the bonus of starting off with 10 sulfur, we can have the bonus of starting off with the +2 attack skill with the power axe, or we can start off with the animate dead spell in a spell scroll. Quite frankly, I generally roll the dice to see which of these bonuses I'm going to get. I'm not going to do that today. We're going to go with 10 sulfur, and that's going to play into our strategy of going past vampires and rushing straight into bone dragons to hopefully get a little bit of early momentum so we can work through some problems that we're going to face with the early blue player. Note these stats: 1 attack, 5 defense, 7 spell power. We only have the haste in our spell book though, so that 7 spell power is going to be pretty useless until we can get a magic arrow, a cold ray, a lightning bolt, things like that. When I played this map last time, we did not get so lucky as that, and it made me pretty darn sad. So the red barrier is not going to be a problem anymore, or could be a problem, but when we build up our Necromancer Castle, we're not going to need ore nearly as much as we're going to need wood. So we're going to go this long way so we can pick up the treasure chest and 10 wood. 10 wood's a nice pickup there. Looks like this is going to be very, very heavy losses unless we can do something simple. Look at this fight here. This looks to be, what, 7 skeletons, 1 vampire, 1 mutant zombie. I'm betting the terrain's pretty bad here, but I'm betting we can still win this fight with only a few other losses. And the way we're going to do that is through using the haste here. 5 skeletons, 6 skeletons, and then 1 mutant zombie. These losses look way better. +6 skeletons back. We're all for it. We've got 16 spell points left, and we're getting 1 extra a day. So long as I don't lose any more of these vampires, I'm going to be feeling pretty okay about myself, though. With 0 losses. With the 6 spell points cast on the hastes, that seems okay for me, +7 skeletons. Wrong about that. I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it, but necromancers have a lot of interesting little nuances and things that you have to take into account. Everything from their spells, being immune to mind-affecting spells, to pretty much everything else. There's a lot of things that are pretty nifty that go into these fights. That sounds pretty darn reasonable to me. Long time. Folks, we got a little bit of a situation here. We have 5,000 gold. We're going to want to save as much of this gold as possible. I'd love to pick up more troops. I think we're just going to make do with what we have, but picking up this magic arrow was thrilling for me. I am so happy for that. Problem with this one scenario, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. We don't like it. Overseas in the military, and they're not getting any help while these people are getting all this help, and they're saying what's the problem, and they're going back and forth. It's a big convoluted mess. You know, some of the issues that could be there, everybody's struggling all around, and so I understand why people would care about American politics a healthy bit. Is a pretty meaningful difference in the way that the AI would fight the fight versus a person. So I'm definitely I'm here for that. I think that there's some good insight you have there. We're gonna get the mausoleum right now. We got to get so much sulfur, folks. We got to get 5 more sulfur and 5 gems and 5 crystal. But we have some opportunities, I think, to just move right along. Let's get the mausoleum now, and we're going to head up north pretty quickly and see what we can find up here. 100 gold. There is 1 patch of each of the precious resources, folks. This could be it. 1 sulfur, 1 crystal, 1 gem. If we get 5, 5, 5, and this windmill, we could be getting bone dragons sooner rather than later. There's no guarantee. It's gonna be close. We're gonna see how well this goes down. There's 6 sulfur there. So far, so good. 6 crystal there. So far, so good. Do not give me 4 gems. Oh, 4 gems, folks. We got 4 gems instead of 5. I think that you're generally better off going for the laboratory, especially if you can get them by week 2. But if you can't get there, like for example, say that this magic garden, this doesn't give us 5 gems, it gives us 500 gold instead. I don't know. It might be better to get the 2nd level mage guild and just hope for a lightning bolt or a cold ray. Then again, we do have the magic arrow, so we do have our damage supplemented. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to check and find out. Okay, 5 gems. I think that makes up my mind for me. If we have the opportunity to get the dragons, sans the gold right now, we're still about 4,400 gold away. Then I think that it's best off for us to wait for this laboratory and go from there. When attacking in melee, the AI always went for the gargoyles instead of the sprites. No losses here. We pick up 9 more skeletons and we get this free gold mine. I say free, a couple of those skeletons is not that big of a deal. Folks, remember something very, very important in our scenario information. We have the Elven Alliance. Elves and Grand Elves will be willing to join your army. And so, this group of elves, generally with this army, I don't want to fight elves. Good thing is that I don't have to. And so even though I don't remember from this point, I remember there was a gold mine here and I don't remember much else about this map other than I know that blue is to the upper left corner. Because I don't remember, we're going to go pick up these elves now because elves are always going to be good. Elves are always going to be good, and I want to make sure I get them before the enemy gets them. Cheers as they run to your ranks. We just picked up 17 elves. That gives us ranged damage long before we end up running into our liches. That gives us plenty of army to continue in this way, and even though we have no spells, I think that we're going to use this and try and push our advantage and head up the road as far as we can. AI, though, is inconsistent, and we should be ready for anything. Smiley face? Yeah, I hear that. Whoop. As soon as I saw that the leprechaun was not here, I should have known that somebody was not too far around. And it is Marini. It looks like we can defeat Marini, and I think that we ought to. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It feels a little bit weird to me too. We're going to accept these losses, I think, into other things, because there's only one Necromancer castle versus all these other knight-based heroes. And because of that, skeletons are probably not going to factor into our plans long-term anyway. But we might as well get that out of the way. We're invested in necromancy to some degree, and I think that I would rather have that than anything else. We have a weird situation on our hands here. Gwyneth is way too tough, folks. Way too tough. Lots of rangers, lots of swordsmen, several water elementals, several pikemen, a few of the paladins. In the rear, we do have Ruby coming up with more troops, and once these troops meet up and consolidate, they're going to be a major force to deal with. I decided to step onto this observation tower because there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to escape and run anyway. And so I might as well get what I can get now. We'll come back later. That's my thought. Our force, our power is not so much in these vampires or even these elves for that matter. Our power is now officially in these bone dragons, of which we have 4. So we're probably going to either run, because I don't think that we're going to be able to keep these troops alive. And we're going to cast as many of these magic arrows on our way out the door as we possibly can. We're going to steal this magic garden. And if the enemy attacks us, they will not find us easy prey. I'm very sorry to lose these troops, but I'm anticipating that we are going to lose these troops. Against R, by the way. They are one of my all-time favorite units because once you get the laboratory, which let's be real, it's pretty expensive. You need to have a nice smattering of resources to make it work. Once you've got that out of the way, as I kill 9 rangers, then you're in a really good spot because they only cost gold at that point. Talking about the different talking about the different 6-tier creatures, of course, you know, Mercury for the Phoenixes and gems for the... We're gonna just stay alive here as long as possible. gems for the Titans and sulfur for the Black Dragons, things like that. Even the Cyclops costs 1 crystal a day. The Crusaders and the Bone Dragons are the only ones that don't actually cost additional resources from day to day. And that's got to count for something, I think. You know, you can get a big stack of these winged flying beasts, and they're big and scary and tough. And I think that even though they are not nearly so powerful in a 1-to-1 ratio between other 6-tier creatures, I've got no problem having Bone Dragons in mass because I can get so many of them so much earlier than the other factions can. And I mean so much earlier, not even a little earlier. I'm talking way earlier. I'm going to take out these Rangers. Titans are 2 gems and 5,000 gold apiece. Chris, I'll say that again, 5,000 gold and 2 gems. Oh my gosh, compared to 1,500 gold for the Bone Dragon? No comparison. In my opinion, there's no comparison. I've got 2 more magic arrows. I want to get them both off and then run. We will see how this goes. Paladins are probably going to take out elves in just a second. But the longer I can stay alive, the better. The longer I can stay alive, the better. And so, yeah, are Titans good? Oh yeah, they're amazing. Are they the best you ever saw? Well, they're pretty good. Pretty good. But the cost and the timing of these, none of the other factions could have really gotten their 6-tier creature as early as us. Even the Knights and the Barbarians, they still need 20 crystal. There's no way we were picking up 20 crystal here, but we did pick up 5 of each precious resources, which was enough to get the laboratory. So I think that as much as I want to kill Paladins here, I don't know. There's no guarantee I can get both magic arrows off. Actually, you know what, there is. I can get both magic arrows off, and so let's do it like this. I don't love this, but this is going to work out okay. Oh, this vampire really needs to stay alive. 12 hit points left. Okay. I believe 5k gold, 2 gems. Rise to Ruin says Wizard players looking at their bank account after buying Titans. Yeah, Angels, a gold and gems, I think. Oh yeah, for Heroes 3, Angels. Yeah, yeah, and they're a great troop. Again, great troop to have if you can get them. But if you can't get them, you are feeling pretty bad. And so when we talk about the cost comparison between factions, it's really, really difficult to say that one faction is just garbage and the other one's great. They all shine at different points in the game. Folks, it's time to run. We unloaded so much damage. We killed 36 Rangers and 3 Paladins. We're feeling great about that fight. We used all these troops effectively. Sorry to lose the Vampire, sorry to lose these troops, but we're happy with what we have. The AI is always good, but it's especially brutal on these scenarios. And so we're playing this through to see if Phixfox can actually win or not. Right now, the AI is feeling very aggressive and very sharp and shiny. I am a little bit concerned about how well the AI is playing right now. Gwyneth is cutting out all of my resources options there. We're going to pick up the rest of the Bone Dragons. We're going to head north, and we're going to see if we can beat these guys in 2 weeks. Hope you aren't as lucky as you were last time. Steeson, my man. How could you? I'm hurt and shocked. Hurt and shocked that you're rooting against me. I know you're not. Steeson, something tells me you'd make a good Necromancer player. You're an evil man. We'll see. This is highly concerning, folks. You know what I forgot to do? Folks, I messed up. I got busy talking and I messed up. I got busy talking and I
think that peanuts are stopping us there. What's the mistake? What's the what? We cannot talk at the same time.
You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to get more spells. We got 2 magic arrows. That's not enough. With turn order right now, the 5-speed Lich actually gives us the opportunity to haste the Bone Dragons and to jump on the Rangers now. I think that that's probably the very best thing I can do. The Bone Dragons are still the power in this area, and I think that getting them onto the Rangers is more important than anything because we have to mitigate the damage from full damage Rangers with a double shot. We just have to. We have to. Oh no, folks, look at this. Look at the terrain. Folks, what a horrible situation. There was nothing we could have done. Oh my word, that's horrible. Huh. I think you guys are right. I'm not loving the way this is looking. Oh goodness. And so we're going to get back up to speed and we're going to see how this scenario plays out differently in the future. But Yep, I made a critical error there. And it's good. Here's why this is good. Folks, I don't play Heroes of Might and Magic to be the best all the time and to win every single second. I play Heroes of Might and Magic because it's exciting and interesting and you never know what's going to happen, and something crazy could always happen. Something crazy just happened. The battlefield terrain was intense there. That was actually intense. With the Bone Dragons being there, I think that we still lose the fight, but the error was on me, right? Because with only 8 spell points, you're never going to win that fight, I don't think. With 40 spell points and that magic arrow, killing 9 rangers at a time, I think that we had a chance. Warm up round, Phixfox, you got this. Yep, we do got this. I feel like Heroes2 was still an experimental phase, so they just threw the ideas that they had rather than making a super balanced experience. I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that. That Conflux replaced. Or was it something else? I don't remember. Ballistics. We're taking ballistics. Science has a very distinct place. Thank goodness we got a magic arrow. A lot more charm to it. I do like the charm and like that. I think that we just saw that there. Acceptable losses all around, by the way. Picking up the ore, is that enough to get our keep? No, we are 1 ore away from getting our keep there. Know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it. By the way, we just used terrain to our advantage wonderfully there to avoid fighting stacks. We isolated fights 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. That's how I would recommend you fight fights like that. If we'd fought the dwarves straight up in just a brawl, we would have taken heavy losses, as the AI suspected that we would. We did not, and that feels great. Darlene is a level 3 necromancer. I'm not sure she's gonna be my primary hero just because I need somebody to get up north and get spells and stuff. I don't know. We're gonna see about that in just 1 second. I don't think that purchasing another hero to send them north is the best bet, but I feel like that was a mistake that we didn't have last time. I think that there's too much to do. As much as I hate to spend the gold to do this, I think I have to send 1 necromancer north. Oh, but they got to pick up that gold mine. Let's go get that observation tower. Let's see if this is a big mistake or not. But meh. Hector the Knight. Let's back off. He cleared out our gold mine for us, which is nice. Kind of, not really. We're gonna pick up the gems here, and then we're gonna sit here overnight because Darlena now needs to pick up full spell points. 30 spell points is gonna be pretty okay for us if we can manage that, because maybe that means that we lost the opportunity at more elves or something like that. Tough to say. We're gonna have to wait and find out. We're gonna use our secondary hero to claim gold mines. Whatever else is over here. There are elves over here. Let's start walking that direction. Let's have Darlena head up just to see what we can find. Hector is running full speed. He wants nothing to do with us, and I want nothing to do with him. I've got to get that observation tower. And I don't think that Ranlu is going to be able to make it up and get there. And now we've just spotted Gwyneth, and we're not going to be able to get these rangers into our forces. This isn't feeling good, folks. This does not feel good. Or that that's one of the biggest honors that I have, is people saying, somebody said, hey, I use your videos to help me fall asleep. And on the one hand, that makes me say, man, I should really not be prone to yelling and screaming and excitement. I should probably keep my voice mellow the whole time. You know, be one of those mellow type of YouTubers, type of streamers. I can't help it. Sometimes I just get excited. And so, but as something of a failed musician, it's always been one of my goals to be the elevator music that is always there, but you don't really notice. That would always be one of my kind of moments where I'm like, oh, I made it. I feel great about this. Knights are better in Heroes 1, especially because the paladins look and move amazingly. They look and sound as tough as nails. I tell you what, I don't have enough experience with Heroes Might and Magic 1 to really have an opinion on that, but I'll believe you. I'll totally believe you. Rise talking to Figaro. Absolutely, my first tattoo was a knight I drew, taking partly from Heroes Might and Magic 2 and the Teutonic faction in AoE 2, because my siblings and I spent way too much of our childhood playing those games. That's awesome. That makes me so happy to hear that. I've got a friend who, oh, I wish I could show you guys the pictures. I wouldn't want to show his tattoos without his permission, but he has recently, he's got to be in his 40s now, and he's getting his first ink, the very first time, and he's been getting 2 full sleeves, and it's everything from Sonic the Hedgehog to Donatello from the Ninja Turtles to Kirby to some Japanese game that he is very, very interested in. I forget all the specifics, but it's very, very fun to see him, you know, being like, hey, what do you think about my Donatello? I'm like, dude, that's really sick. And it really is. It's super good. It's super good. Yeah, so I appreciate when we get to enjoy the things that we love, because you know what? It mattered. You know, our childhoods mattered, and I hope that lots of people have enjoyed playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2 in their childhood, and that they're back, or if this is their very first time, that they're enjoying this very, very much. Even though I just lost there, by the way, folks. Whoops. I'm still enjoying myself very, very much. I really am. 2 back. We're going to take the Wisdom. And folks, so far we've gotten very lucky. We've picked up the Magic Arrow, level 1 spell each time. This time we do not, and that's a pretty big deal, because Bless is absolutely useless. Dispel Magic is kind of meh, because there's, I mean, what disabling spell are you going to cast against a Necromancer? Your options are pretty limited. And then View Resources, yeah. So this is a very bad Mage Guild. We've gotten very lucky so far, but I think that we're in a little bit of trouble. We do have enough wood, and then hire another hero right now. Oh, we are short. We're short gold. Darn. We are short the gold. The margins are very slim here. Very slim. FHeroes2 family, priorities. First priority is FHeroes2 is what Steeson's saying, and then he's saying number 2 is family. Talking about priorities, not just kidding. Yep, I get it. If anybody knows that family is important, it's definitely Steeson. I appreciate the way that he interacts with his family and is a good protector and defender of those people that he loves. Next Night Faction Enjoyer on the way. Yeah, there you go. Bad start, restart. I don't know, like just straight up abandoning the run because you don't have a magic arrow. I don't think that you're wrong. Like it's pretty darn important. It's really meaningful. I do want to continue to play this just a little bit longer. I got to see what Ranlu can or can't do up here. And so Astra, I think he can beat. Let me just hit in there. No, you can't beat Astra even. Really? I wonder if she's got spells. Let's see what spells she has. I'm just going to skip a couple times. Okay. Yeah, and if she's got a cold raid that's going to be doing 40 points of damage, that's instantly bad for us. And this feels a little bit like when we were playing Pyramid on stream, folks. Pyramid on stream was really stressful for me because nobody likes to lose in front of their closest friends and family, right? That's kind of the way that these streams go a little bit. And, you know, I want to do pretty well. Sometimes there's just a little bit of variance to these maps that makes it a little too much. So let's still try and workshop and try and figure out what our baseline is, best practices. And as I've mentioned before, kind of like with playing blackjack and counting cards, just because you have an advantage or you're playing at an advantage against the house, if you count cards, that doesn't still mean that you're going to win every time. You can play with perfect basic strategy and still lose. I imagine that we might still find something here where we could potentially find perfect basic strategy for this scenario and still end up losing just due to variance and just wild and crazy things happening. That just seems logical and possible to me. It's tough to be assertive but also kind, and I worry that when I'm assertive I end up erring on the wrong side and I'm putting off the wrong vibes. Okay, so what did we discuss? We've discussed maybe letting the enemy take this castle. We've discussed running multiple heroes to the north. We're going to miss out on this gold because we didn't have time to wait around. The chances of getting, I think we have to know if we're going to get enough resources over here or not. I say that we head north immediately. We leave the treasure chest for now. We'll head north. We'll fight, we'll win, we'll get a second hero. They're going to pick up these resources, and they're going to follow us immediately. A Necromancer, I just figured that the one Gargoyle would be more useful for me than anything else. I'm gonna grab gems and things like that. I think I can have Zam pick up this windmill. Well, I got orcs. Maybe I can defeat orcs and maybe there's crystal over here. Let's see if we can rush into bone dragons. This is very sketchy, folks. I do not like this, but we're still doing some theory crafting here. And that's okay. Dimitri, we can't reach. Let's run away as far as we can. I think he can still reach us. He's got peasants though. Peasants are very slow. We don't have a damaging spell. Do we risk it and go for the crystal so that way we can get our bone dragons week 1 or week 2? I think the bone dragons are just the play that I really want to go for. And the reason, Chris, that I think that these scenarios are tougher, and this is just my opinion, feel free to disagree with me, anybody. Part of the reason why I think that these campaigns are tougher is because they are built to be all these enemies against you, whereas single scenarios are generally more meant to be like a free-for-all type of map where, oh gosh, I really didn't need that, where everybody should have more or less a starting, they're starting off on even footing. There's too much here. 37 rangers, 42 archers. There's no sense in even fighting this fight, is there? Here's the bonuses, by the way. The choice is 10 sulfur, power X for +2 attack, or the animate dead. The animate dead, if we go for animate dead, you have to go into the Thieves Guild, and then you go into vampires, and then you go into vampire lords. Vampire lords are good, but are you going to get enough vampire lords to make it worth it? If we're going to go for the vampires, then we go for animate dead. Tell you what, we're going to try the vampires. We're going to not go for the sulfur. We're going to go for the animate dead instead. And we're going to do that. Let's just give this a try. Again, we're playing around with this. We're having a nice time trying to figure out what might work. What could work? What's the best case scenario? And maybe I'm swinging for the fences when I ought to be a little bit more conservative and simply try and get vampires and utilize that strategy. So instead we start off with Celia, who has the animate dead spell. With only 20 spell points, we've got 2 animate deads, but you can raise 1 entire stack of creatures at this point. So it's going to be fantastic. I think that if that's the case, if we're not going for bone dragons, we don't have that big cost that we're trying to overcome in gold. And so I think that we go for experience here instead of gold. And hey, we take the estates. I'm just happy for the additional stat there. I'm very happy for that always. I wonder if that was what it was. They're like, hey, are you spam? And you're like, no, I'm not spam. I'm real. I'll vouch for you, Steeson. You're totally real. You're not a computer. 18 wood. We're gonna need the wood if we're gonna go into vampires for sure. Heading up north. And again, I'm gonna take the experience. We're gonna try the experience route. That's +1 knowledge, which gives us 1 additional animate dead, which is critical, very useful. I'm gonna take the necromancy twice. All of a sudden we're getting tons of skeletons because we're level 4. Am I the only one that really likes the rogue attack sound for no reason? Dude, the sounds in this game are so good. Figaro, you are so right. Just the little it's so good. One of my favorite sounds in Heroes 2 is the sound of the Berserk spell. Just like with the eyes that show up and just like, one of my favorite sounds. I'm not doing that sound any justice at all. If I ever have a problem with my car and I go to a mechanic and say, hey, it's making a funny sound, I'm not gonna be able to replicate the sound so they can know what's going wrong with it. But you get what I'm saying. The Berserker sound is one of my favorites. Folks, okay, so we just got with our expert necromancer, we just picked up 20 skeletons. We have 42 skeletons all of a sudden, 41 skeletons. Maybe picking up the experience over the gold is actually something pretty big. Maybe we've been messing this up a little bit. We're gonna take the gold here because I am worried about getting enough gold. Yeah, it's perfect. 1 skeleton, I'm gonna accept that, and 6 back. All right, folks, this could be it. Let's see. Nope, that's okay though. Having the dispel magic is not bad. It's not bad. Having a curse, it's okay. It's okay. This will work out fine. We're gonna make this work. And we're immediately gonna get our castle upgraded. And because we are pretty much out of movement points, we have 225 left. We're gonna stay here overnight because I want to make sure I walk out of here with 30 spell points instead of 14. We're going to pick up a second hero tomorrow because we're out of gold now. We're going to hope we get lots of gold here in this treasure chest and just take it away from there. Look how close the margins were. Folks, hold on. Look at this. We have no ore left. We have no gold left. We were that close to missing out on our castle upgrade. That is huge. That is not a small thing. Huh. I'm feeling pretty lucky. Are you guys feeling pretty lucky? I'm feeling pretty lucky. Ladies, gentlemen, friends, Romans, lend me your ears. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. After scouring the area, you fall upon a hidden chest containing the ancient artifact Medal of Courage. Here's what I like about that. When we get elves into our army, the elves are not going to freeze with fear. I like that. What I don't like is that I really wanted the gold so I could get another hero out here today. I really did. Really did. If we are not going for bone dragons, that changes our strategy vastly. I think you still want the gold mine early, but I think that you go north instead of south. I think you go north to the gold mine now with your main army, and you come back later for resources and all this stuff. It'll be there. It'll be there. But we may have only one opportunity to go north and get some nice fun stuff. We're going to miss out on Magic Garden and stuff like that. We're going to pick up a second hero as soon as we can, but I think we go for the gold mine at least, and then we see how far up the road we can get, see if we can get just a little bit lucky. If your car is making berserk noises, I don't think you'll be able to reach the mechanic. Yeah, probably not. Like a lady putting her hand on her head and fainting in the old movies. Forget about liches and vampires. Buy bone dragons. Bono Dragos. The barb attack skills will make them Gojira monsters. I like that. Yeah, I am all for having the biggest, baddest kaiju on the map. That is always a good time to me as far as I'm concerned. We're going to combine the skeletons, split the vampires into 3 stacks. Defeat these orcs very, very quickly. 1 skeleton, no problem. 7 skeletons back. Got to pick up... Oh, it's not elves this time. This time it's nomads. I don't think we actually need the mercury. I think that... I don't think we need the mercury. I think we want all these other resources up here more than anything. Still too far away to get a secondary hero. We now have enough to get a second hero. Don the Wizard or Rialdo. Are these Necromancer troops better than having a very high-speed, 6-speed boar hero? I think I'd rather have Don. I do believe. Okay, so we're going to move these creatures up. Minus the 1. Minus the 1, carry the 0. 5 gems. Terrific. Windmill on your left. Yeah, I got windmill here, windmill here. I'm going to have my secondary hero do all that. That's my plan. Do I need ore? I don't think I need ore. I think I need gems for the upgraded mansion. And if I can find sulfur, that'd be good. We're going to have some sulfur there. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to go up this road knowing that every single time we've gone up, there's been enemies here. They pick up that observation tower, they know we're here, and then they just jump out and grab us. I'm going to take out the goblins because they're going to be a free 13 skeletons. We'll take the scouting. That's an additional +1 knowledge. That's an additional animate dead in any given fight. Horde of skeletons. Careful if the enemy sees you, you're a goner. Kaiju faction and FHeroes2, that'd be nifty. I would love that. Yeah, and if the enemy sees me, we are toast. I'm going to take 1 step out of my way here, and we will see tomorrow what Dawn can get here. That'll help me determine whether or not I need to go through these skeletons, and or if we see anything over there. Oh, geez, no. We can defeat Ruby. We can do that. I can totally defeat Ruby. That feels pretty nice. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to defeat the skeletons, and then I'm going to head back south with my main hero while my secondary hero swoops up and hopefully collects all this before they die an honorable death. I say honorable. I hope it's honorable. But if the enemy sees you, you're a goner. Steeson, I think you're 1000% right. In this instance, they know we're here. They have seen us. I think that they're going to make a beeline for us. We're going to have to do the best we can to stay alive. Can you feel the tension, folks? Can you feel the excitement? Can you smell that smell? Okay, I'm going to do the haste here. I want those skeletons to get into range for next fight, for the next moment. And I think that when we're talking about vampires versus bone dragons as a strategy. Oops, not good. I think that it's worth noting that the animate dead goes a long way. Before, we were not going to be strong until week 3. If we have vampires and animate dead, we are strong right about now. Oh, no. You're kidding me. I took one step out of my way there, assuming I would have just enough movement points to get there. That's unfortunate. And that's especially unfortunate because that might take me out of my way as they try and run north. That's bad. That's bad. Okay. I really thought that I would have enough movement points to get around there. I think that Ruby could probably dive south, and for that reason I don't want to jump up here, otherwise I lose Dawn. Let's just play it safe. Hop on the road. We'll go from there. Try luring Blue's Lord of Nightness down while you sneak past him or her with your barb. It's decent. Oh, I do have a barb now. I didn't have a barb before, but I do have a barb now. You are correct, sir. Okay. We will see. I hope I can make that work, especially since I have one extra 6-speed boar. We will see. We will see. I don't love this, but I gotta let Ruby go. I've gotta let Ruby go. She's not it for me. Yeah, I agree. Leave Ruby. Gold mine. Yep. And I don't even need this alchemist lab or whatever gem mine is right there. I've got the gems necessary to get my upgraded mansion. Oh, I need crystal. Interesting. Well, I don't have crystal around here anywhere anyway. Oh, there's crystal right there. That crystal actually turned out to be more important than I thought it would be. I'm hoping that Ruby does not just turn around and defeat Dawn. And just to make sure that that doesn't happen, we're going to split our forces. We're just going to split and split. And then the enemy for sure won't try and attack us. I just don't want the enemy to come back and try and defeat Dawn real quick. I'll go this far out of my way. Dawn's going to give the troops back tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. 1,500 gold, not a lot of gold left. Dang! They immediately sniped that from us. If I had known that we couldn't have reached Ruby... Well, I did know. I did know that we couldn't reach Ruby, and then I went back anyway. Huge error. I should have stayed and gotten all that. Darn. Okay. Alright, we're learning. The upgraded mansion cost hurts my bones. It's expensive. It's so expensive. I remember the special spot just outside of blue player's line of sight along the road. You can wait him out while he chases your second hero. You're going to have to tell me more. I'm intrigued to know more about that. Celia, Hacker Crusaders. There's no way. By the way, if you are interested about this pack of Crusaders, I haven't spoken to them yet, but I will tell you what they are. It's a pack of Crusaders, like I just said. They have the spell scroll behind them. It's a fireball or a fire blast. It's not that good. It's not bad, it's just not that good. So I don't think that we're going to be attacking them anytime soon. I just don't think that the losses that we would take are worth the struggle, worth the fight. You do have animate dead though, maybe for us. Vertical above the left mine before the swamplands. Like in here. Oh, maybe over here. Focus on other buildings. Yeah, I think that next week... Okay, so skull pile. If we're going to be using low-level troops, we should probably pick up the skull pile. We should probably consider getting this mage guild, actually. Tell you what, we're going to go straight down the road. We're going to go for a mage guild level 2. We're going to pick up our lightning bolt, and we're going to be big, bad, and scary very, very quickly. It feels weird to have both the animate dead and a cold ray or a lightning bolt, and there's a chance that we're not going to get either. That is totally possible, by the way. Did you know that you are not guaranteed to get a damaging spell in your first or second level mage guild? It's not guaranteed. It's just a really nice bonus when it happens. But likely it will likely happen. And if so, it's weird that we're going to be kind of sharing turns between offensive damaging spells and the animate dead. But it's never a bad thing to have more flexibility, is it? Is it ever a bad thing to have more flexibility? Honestly, I submit to you the answer is no. It's always good to have more flexibility and to have the right spell for the right moment. It's like if you're working on a car, which by the way, I don't do a lot of. I'm not very mechanically inclined. But having the right tool for the job makes a world of difference regardless of what you're doing. If you have the wrong tool and you're trying to Mickey Mouse a solution, you're always gonna have a worse time than if you try to do something else. By the way, I tried Vamp Lord strat some time ago. AI is clever enough to kill them first these days. Oh, 75 skeletons is nice. 75 peasants is better. Steeson, I will not have you spreading falsehoods around me. Not right now anyway, maybe later. We needed the ore for something. Mage Guild, that's what it was. So we're gonna pick up that now. Ruby's not gonna be able to reach us, but Ambrose is quickly approaching. They're not gonna be able to take our castle, that's good. We're probably gonna do it like this. It's day 7. I'm gonna want the windmill and all this in just a second. I'm gonna get the sawmill now. Well, which is more important? Are we gonna run out of gold trying to purchase all of our troops? We might. We might be running out of gold. Lightning Bolt, critical. Ooh, and Death Ripple, really good. Death Ripple and Lightning Bolt, folks. That's actually a really good second level mage guild. I am all for everything that we just saw there. In the army, in the enemy army for sure, Steeson. Yeah. I think that we're gonna have enough troops here to purchase tomorrow. I think that we're gonna want that gold, and so therefore we're gonna have Dawn just go to right about here. So we can borrow troops, send them back, go up, go down, things like that. Rather than pick up the sawmill and this ore now. It's going to be about defeating dwarves and gold. In the enemy army for sure, Steeson. Sorry, I'm tired. Got the kids keeping us awake these nights. It's quite hot. No, you're good, man. No worries. Death Ripple is huge. Yeah, definitely it's huge. All right, let's see what the enemy does here. A little bit of a waste of Dawn's movement points. Ruby backs off. Veteran pikeman growth. Yeah, that's the last thing I need is for them to be even stronger. Folks, I have to defeat Ambrose here. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Because Natasha is coming up with the probably better army or the resupply. As much as I don't want to deal with the sorceress who has a lightning bolt or a cold ray, I definitely don't want to deal with these armies combined. This is an opportunity to take out lots of archers and lots of rangers. It quite simply must be. I've got to step in because I got to get the spells. I hope that I can still reach. We can. And then I hope I can get away after that. 1,100 movement points. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close. Okay. Let's purchase everybody we can right now. Starting off with the vampires. One huge stack of vampires is pretty good. And then one huge stack of skeletons is pretty good. Huge stacks are better than the single stacks because the animate dead, that'll make sure that we don't waste that. We do have a little bit of flexibility with mutant zombies. We're going to be short on spell points. We're down to 24. But again, I'm hoping I can get there and back. You got my point, Figaro. My secret golden lessons between the lines are for my students. Accidentally bring my work mind to gaming. Could you imagine you're teaching a group of students and you say, all right, now we all know that a peasant is the worst unit in the game, right? Right. And you use that in some sort of analogy for your schooling. And all the students go, what is this guy talking about? What is this guy talking about? They've got peasants. 2-speed peasants, they're not gonna be able to reach us. I have to trust. I have to trust. No, I have to trust. With our spells, we're gonna be okay, but we're not gonna be able to deal with Natasha if we're not able to defeat this army. Let's see how much damage our lightning bolt does. 200 points of damage. That's 20 rangers off the board immediately. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna immediately consider. Because we've got the vampires who we're gonna go after. I think we gotta defeat 20 rangers now with the lightning bolt. Vampires will go down to the south to defeat 42 archers to encumber them. 30 swordsmen, we're gonna take a hit, but we're gonna have at least one animate dead that can revive those vampires. We gotta take out the damage from these rangers right now. Oh, folks, that's a dirty trick. Did you see that? It's a dirty trick. Lightning bolt does 100 points of damage. Ambrose the Knight has the lightning helm, and the lightning helm reduces lightning damage by half. Ouch. Would that have changed what I did? I don't think so. I don't think that would have changed what I did, but still, that is a huge blow to my chances in this fight. Yeah, Death Ripple, 40 points of damage. Yeah, you're right. Death Ripple, we're going to be using that. We're going to use probably one Animate Dead. By the way, Animate Dead restores 400 hit points worth of creatures. How many vampires is that? It's more than 10, call it 13. That's 13 vampires. We can lose this entire stack of vampires and then Animate Dead them immediately. Yep, whole stack. So we've got that going for us. We've got exactly one more Animate Dead. If I had known the Lightning Bolt wasn't going to do that much, I probably would have saved the spell points to do Animate Deads instead. Or I definitely would have used like a Death Ripple instead or something like that. So, not thrilled with that development. It is what it is. We did a little bit of damage to the Rangers. Skeletons are going to slowly work their way up to them. We're down to 11 vampires. Oh no, it's so sad. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And then we gotta use our no retaliation ability on the swordsmen because they're just the bigger, badder troop. Look at this: 3 attack, 5 defense. 1 attack, 6 defense. I'm gonna be killing 1 to 2 swordsmen at a time. That feels pretty bad, folks. That feels pretty bad. 115 skeletons. More coming, but more coming. Okay. I don't know if we want to cast a haste here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we cast the haste, the skeletons are going to be hasted for the rest of this fight. And then they could go to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that the haste is actually better than the Death Ripple. And then I've got 1 curse for the swordsman after that. And then 1 Animate Dead on top of that. I don't love this. I don't love this, but I think that the haste is better than the flat damage from the 40, 40, 40, 40, because then it'll also save the damage from 13 Rangers after the Death Ripple takes effect. So that's what we're going to do. And the only way that they can counter this at this point is if they slow. That means that they're going to have to slow next turn. So we're going to do it like this. The 1 whole stack of Rangers. Ouch. 4 vampires go down twice. And now 42 archers are going to get an unencumbered shot against us. Knights are not supposed to do 112 points of damage with their lightning bolts. He's got the lightning rod and the lightning helm. Do you notice? The lightning bolt does 112 points of damage. He's got to have the lightning rod as well. 14 spell points left. He doesn't have a lot of spell points, but still not loving this. And now I wish I'd... Oh, man. If I had known, we would have done things differently. By the way, my best friend watches your videos on one screen and does coding on another screen while he works for a company worth millions. That's a big... I'm grateful for that. I'm super grateful for that. Didn't know Ambrose was the Thunder God. Yeah. Does this justify an autosave reload? I don't think so. Well, we'll see. Let's fight out the rest of this fight. It'll really depend, I think, on whether or not our friend Natasha follows up this fight or not. I really want to get this curse off. I think you gotta get the Animate Dead off. No, actually, I think you might want to save the vampires. Tell you what, let's take our big... Let's curse now. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna curse now. Zombies are gonna slot into here, and we're not gonna raise the vampires until the fight's almost over. We just can't have the zombies lose on top of the vampires. Otherwise, could you animate? Could you animate? Like if you have the Animate Dead spell and then you animate the vampires, like if 2 dead stacks are there, does it know that it's gonna animate the vampires, or is it gonna accidentally animate the 10 zombies? You think that the zombies, because they died on top of the vampires, Vamp says? I worry that you're right, and that makes this such a bad situation because I'm anticipating lightning bolts. But I also want to prevent the damage here. from the Rangers, from the Archers. Choices. Tell you what, I think that I can get mutant zombies in and then out before they die. It's just a very risky proposition. I think we can do this. Down to 69 skeletons. Nice. We will take the retaliation from these peasants here. Mutant zombies are going to slot in right here as they attack peasants. Kill 20 to 30. They're going to take the retaliation here. 2 mutant zombies go down. 2 more mutant zombies go down. Okay. And then he's saved his spell points. 14 spell points left. Very interesting. And so with 11 spell points left, we attack here. Down to 18 swordsmen. Mutant zombies with 2 left are going to skedoodle, and then the skeletons are going to go after. So this is working out perfectly. Again, this is a time where having a game knowledge would have made that choice good or bad or different, depending on what the reality is. And thankfully, this worked out fine where we didn't have to find out how wrong we were. In Heroes 3, I talk about Heroes 3 being very much a game about... Ouch. A game very much being about knowledge check. That's exactly what I mean when I say that. It's a knowledge check. Knowing that would make the right decision right or wrong at any point. And you have to know in order to play the game optimally. The Danish poet Ambrose wrote about the thunder god Thor. Sigh, work brain, turn off. Yeah. Folks, Ambrose the Knight. Speaking about the differences between the FHeroes2 AI from previous patches to now, Ambrose saved his lightning bolt just so he could defeat vampires again. I think he totally did that. I think that we used the early... Was that the first time we've used... Was that the first time that we've used our Animate Dead? I think it might have been. But I think he totally saved his spell points just for that exact moment. That's crazy. Gotta kill the swordsman. And this is going to be a loss. At this point, there's nothing we can do. We're out of spell points, and the forces are just overwhelming. Yeah. So we will run here, but we have to win this fight in order to do something nifty there. We did way better than the AI said we would do, but we don't have enough spell points to make that work. In the interest of time, folks, we are currently, what are we? We're about 2 hours into this playthrough. And again, this is all us having a nice time, not being perfect. I think that we're going to forego starting all over and save ourselves 20 minutes of the early game. And we're just going to load up this last autosave where we have this decision, and we're going to stay put in Hampshire more than anything else. So Ruby's probably going to run away. We're going to back off this time with Dawn, since we're not going to do this big hero chain there. We're going to wait here, see how this goes. Ambrose is still coming. Veteran pikeman growth is still up. I'm hoping, actually, that he takes a detour, Ambrose does. And I hope he goes anywhere but straight towards me. We will see. We will see. And we're going to stay here overnight because we need full spell points to maybe make this a win. I think with full spell points, though, we have a way better opportunity than we otherwise would. So we're going to do it just like this. In case something happens, I think I'd rather have the troops than the left turret, right turret. I don't think this town is upgraded enough to make that the smart decision there. We're going to have Dawn be ready to hop over here in a second. I just don't want to lose her in 1 second. And then we'll see what happens here. Okay, good. So we lose 5 gems, but here's the deal. The fight is instantly better because we now have 40 spell points instead of 24. And we have a little bit of time. Do we upgrade or do we make any other changes here? Kind of like this army as is. We'll save the rest of these troops. We'll save the 1500 for something else later. Okay, and now I think we fight this one more time. This map is insane these days. Last time you played this map and defeated it, you got so lucky that my son noticed my jaw drop. Hey, I'd rather be lucky than good. That is a saying from a very famous poker player. I'd rather be lucky than good. I think that in poker, that makes a bigger difference than it does here in Heroes, Might, and Magic, but I digress. Okay, losses look like we're going to be absolutely demolished here, but I think that with the additional spell points, that things are going to go much better. Not going to cast the Lightning Bolt. 100 points of damage doesn't make nearly as much sense as this Death Ripple does now. And rather than curse, I could curse the Rangers down to 2 damage instead of 3. They have 8 attack skill. They're probably going to be fighting vampires. They're going to be doing reduced damage anyway. I think I'd rather just take the flat damage across the board and kill 4 archers and 4 rangers and one swordsman and peasants. I feel like the death ripples are going to be fairly useful here. Let's do that once. Haste on the vampires instead. And have the vampires go up for the rangers. Either way, the vampires are going to take attention, right? And we haven't seen like a dispel magic from Ambrose. If we devote one haste here, one haste here. Stream. Thank you. Thank you. Haste. Haste is a very interesting choice there because it reduces the damage from these rangers. And that's even better than a curse. And then you have hasted vampires. The only problem is, not lucky because of your actions, but because the neutral army RNG and the monster AI player not even coming through the barrier gate. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. If a whole stack of creatures dies with a haste spell, when they are reanimated, they do not get to use it again. Or rather, it does not persist through the animate dead. Well, tell you what though, let's get the vampires. If we haste the vampires here, I'm going to want to haste the skeletons next time here. Vampires lost in one turn, didn't they? We lost 4 from the lightning bolt and then like 4 or 6 from the swordsman. They're not going to last, are they? Which means that you got to get the rest of your troops down the battlefield. Is it worth it to take the damage from these rangers? Tell you what, folks, I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to wait on a spell. I'm going to take the damage from these rangers. I'm going to say, let's see what spell you have best for you. And that way I know what to do with my 40 spell points. So yeah, that cost us 3 vampires that we were going to animate dead in a second anyway. 30 swordsmen. Let's see where they go. Let's see if they go south or if they go north. They go north. Glad that they got that good morale out of their system. I think that we want to haste. I want to get off one spell this turn. It's impossible for me to reproduce. And with that said, you're definitely better at the game than I am. Your win streak without restart is astonishing. I appreciate that. And it was actually a pretty amazing streak. Okay, I think you have to go here. There's no question about that. What I'm debating in my mind, folks, is where I use my spell, because this is my last chance to use the spell this round is with this skeleton. But Ambrose, has also not cast a spell, has he? He has waited on his spell, and the onus is on me to use a spell now. And if I do a haste here, I'm worried that he's just going to slow or dispel or something like that. Curse on the swordsman. You know what? We're going to want to use a curse at some point anyway, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to want to use a curse at some point anyway. I like that. And the only problem is that now there's skeletons, or there's peasants here. But he didn't cast a spell that round. Very, very interesting. Another curse? Let's do that. So long as he's going to allow me to... One, two, three, four. Hope Fox News will make your victory here a breaking news story. I say this with all fiery passion of my heart. Fox News can go to hell. On the flip side, so too can CNN or MSNBC or all those other ones. Oh, Fox News. Oh, gotcha. It's because I'm a Fox. It's Phixfox. Okay, my bad. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I have an inherent distrust for all major media. All major news sources. Man, folks, this is rough. I'm having a rough time here. Now I feel bad for my overreaction to your Fox joke. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay. 86 peasants go down. We're down to 78 skeletons. You know what? If he's not going to cast spells, I'm going to let him not cast spells. Maybe he is waiting to cast spells until I cast some crazy spell, and then he could say, oh, that's what you got on hand. Interesting. Skeletons are going to go south, and then I think I'm going to send the vampires up immediately. I want to take care of all these archers right now, and I can. I've got 3 animate deads, so losing skeletons right now doesn't phase me. We're going to wait on this skeleton here. Swordsmen have skipped their turn. And now we start to work on swordsmen. Very slowly, very carefully. 10 mutant zombies are going to go south, actually. I know I moved them north last turn, but this time we're going to go south. Never mind. Okay. How would this map be like playing if you could choose a starting faction? That's a good question. I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Last curse to spell. Necromancers actually might be the very best faction for this map. They really might be. Do I attack now? We're about to get obliterated. Let's get off damage where we can. The animate deads are going to start coming out very, very quickly. So let's make this happen. The swordsmen being cursed, they're going to be cursed for 5 more turns. Let's just let it happen. Let it be. Let it be. Okay. All right, folks. Let's pack this up. 22 spell points and you're still not casting a spell. What are you doing with yourself? What are you doing? What are you doing? What's in your head, boy? I'm going to wait until I have full stacks that need attention from the animate dead before I actually animate dead them. I could animate dead a whole stack right here and do tons of damage, though. 400 spell points worth of skeletons. That's going to be 100 skeletons. We started off originally with 115 skeletons. So actually, if I cast the animate dead now, we're not going to waste any spell points worth of skeletons. Yeah, 3 hit points left, funny enough. That was exactly perfect. And now we get 1 big wallop on here. 6 goes down there. Ouch. Vampires go down. And he did that on purpose. He totally did that on purpose. He waited. He waited. Huh. Okay. Vampires have to get animated now. 13 back. Down to 16 of the swordsmen, 9 of the vampires. We've got 2 more of these. We got 1 more animate dead left. And I think I'm going to want it to be on the vampires. 100 skeletons would be wonderful. The flexibility from the vampires is just too good. So unfortunately, even though I don't want to lose all these skeletons, it's going to be the skeletons that do not get the attention in just 1 second. That feels so bad. Chef's kiss on that animate. Move the 1 stack skellies to get the zombies in. Oh, you're totally right. I thought about that and then I immediately stopped. I immediately just ignored myself. I forgot. A 1 spell point left, by the way. So yeah, get these guys out. Ouch. Not nice. And then last animate dead. So we're going to win this fight. And we're still going to walk away with all the vampires. I think that's just the cost of doing business. If we can find a way to prevent these enemies from running, we'd love to do that. Because again, they've got the lightning rod, they've got the lightning spells. We'll see. I don't know how viable that's going to be. Typing skills be like, yeah, sorry. It was more me not looking in the chat and less of you not typing fast enough, so don't feel too bad. Really don't. Swordsmen, I don't know. It's possible that we kill them right here. No, it's not. They're going to get the opportunity to run if they want it. If they want it. Wow. And I don't think I could have flown away and had the damage work out better to do all the damage at once. I don't think I could have. It was so close, folks. It was so close. 115 skeletons, 2 vampires goes down. That is actually a big loss in skeletons. We do get 55 back. So we do get 55 back. That's good. But knowing that we had the opportunity to pick up the lightning helm and the lightning rod, that just hurts my heart. Ah, man. GG, well played anyway. Yeah, that was close. So, oh man, that's close. But ultimately, that's still a victory. Ruby, I don't know. We got to get more spell points. And then we can maybe see. Maybe we can see what we can do in just a second. Once we get to Vampire Lords, which we're actually not, well, we're not close anymore. That changes things drastically. Maybe we bait Ruby in for a fight. I feel like we got to defeat Ruby while we can. Let's bait her in. At this point, she shouldn't be able to reach us. We're up to full spell points. Whoa! Can I call it or what? Zombies in the fight a bit earlier could have made a difference. I think you're right. As close as it was, and I think that the margins would have worked out to where the enemy would not have run. I really think. So yeah, we'll call that an error on my part for sure. Man, close. Well, we're feeling pretty good. Now is definitely the time, though. By the way, we still have these other good supporting troops. We saved mutant zombies. They're not great, but we saved the royal mummies as well. And getting royal mummies into this fight is going to be pretty nice. Let's make sure that our turn order is correct. We now have a 5-speed creature and then 4-speed creatures all the way across the board here. I think I want my 1 skeleton single stack there so they can take a retaliation somewhere. We're at full spell points. Folks, if we can't defeat them here, I don't think that waiting in the castle is really going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter that much. We're going to pick up the luck on our way out. But I think either we can beat them or we can't. In these numbers, I think that we can beat them. And waiting for them to come attack us in Hampshire is not going to be as valuable for me as just defeating them now. It says we're going to lose. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. 6 paladins is good, but the important thing is that they don't have this whole stack of rangers that's going to come and do tons of damage. Ruby is not nearly as good as Ambrose was. We've now got a lightning bolt that's going to do full damage. That's going to be all the rangers gone right now. Get out of my game. I don't ever want to see you around these parts ever again. Disrupting Ray. I'm fine with the Disrupting Ray. I'm not so thrilled about the good morale, but these things do happen. Okay. And I'm going to actually use my 1 single stack of skeletons now to take this retaliation. That means these 56 skeletons are going to get to attack without any retribution. Aha. And I will probably drop 200-point lightning bolt onto these paladins in just a second. Let's do a little bit of damage there. And 5 speed. Unfortunately, they're going to get to go next. So they're going to get to go with these paladins before I get my lightning bolt off. Oh, no. They took the Master Swordsman. But what a fortuitous circumstance. Because of the way the turn order worked out, it was the few Master Swordsmen instead of the Paladins. Folks, that changes our fortunes drastically. That saves potentially 1 full animate dead that we otherwise would not have wanted to spend. But because of that, we're feeling pretty good. Knights, as always, with their leadership. Good. They're being very extra turny. Taking all these extra turns. And let's make sure that we wipe her off the face of the planet. Let's kill... I think that 1 lightning bolt here. Let's see if we can get all of our troops to kill the veteran pikemen over here before we do anything else. Down to 4. They're going to get to go next. Bloodlust. Interesting. And then 1 single lightning bolt here. And call that good. Acceptable losses. And now we've cleared the way for some other stuff. Folks, we just got basic pathfinding. Folks, that is not a small thing. And here's why. I know that there are elves up in this area. If you can get to them, if you can take the time to go out of your way, I think that we just had a bit of a breakthrough there. That pathfinding, saving 25% of our movement points per day, is actually going to be a really useful deal. I'm all for everything that just happened there. And so let's actually take that immediately and go north. Let's immediately be recklessly abandoning all sense of pride and prejudice. No. All sense of war and peace. No. All sense of self-preservation and push our way north as quickly as we can. We got to get that observation tower. We got to know what's coming our way so we can make the best decisions. And we have to see if we can resupply with some of these other troops. I think that this is an opportunity that we cannot avoid. We must take this while we can. The enemy is probably going to be really strong very, very quickly. I got to get the observation tower now so I know where we're going. I see 1 enemy hero here. We've got 31 out of our 50 spell points. I don't love this, but this is probably the best thing we gotta do. Man, I like Royal Mummies so much. I feel like they are overshined by other Necro troops, but they are a workhorse. Yes, I could not have said that better myself. The Necromancy faction does so good with their mummies, and there's nothing I love better than a whole stack of mummies. Absolutely cleaning house. And they sure can. I always underestimate how powerful they are. It's decent. Oh, I gotta go to sleep. Go beat blue to a pulp and then defeat this map while I'm asleep. Remember to pick up and use those Grand Elves. My daughter's name, Sylvia, is inspired by a certain faction's title that you know. It's decent. Have a wonderful night's sleep. Please take very good care of yourself, sir. I sincerely appreciate you. Maybe ignore the hero and charge the castle. It's day 7. I know that from here at this point, I think it's 3 days. I think from this point, it's 3 days. we're gonna use one autosave just because I want to give you the opportunity to see if we're right or wrong. Because if you're right, Rise to Ruin, if you are right that we can just rush the castle along the road, then it's clearly the best decision that we could possibly make. I think that it's 3 days instead of 2. Could be wrong though. Could be wrong. I think Dawn's gonna go down. Oh no. Hold on. I said I was going to use the autosave. I realized I need to do an actual save instead of an autosave. I messed that up, my bad. I don't usually do saves, but in this instance I will, because again, I want to make this happen. Okay, so I'm just going to hit save game. I think I've got one old Phixfox title there. Just so we can come back to this point, because I think that what you're talking about is rushing along the road here, and if we can reach their castle right now, then we ought to. It was close. It is so close. Look how close that is. Look how close that is. That is so close. And there's nothing we can do to change up our army. We were officially 1 movement point out of the way. Wait, did I mess up over here? Hold on, let's do that one more time. Rise is saying wait. Maybe you saw what I saw? Is there some better pathfinding? Move slower troops to the other hero? But all my troops are the same speed. 4 speed, 4 speed, 4 speed, 1 5 speed. What am I even saying right now? I'm out, man. See y'all later, Steeson. Before I end my turn, hold on. Let me check that. Yeah, but we know that the enemy hero is going to run by us. Oh wait. But if I just have mummies, I'm not going to be able to make that happen, am I? With just mummies? We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try and see if this works out. We'll take all of the troops here except for the 5 speeds. Because I think with 8 mummies and a couple of lightning bolts, we can probably defeat some nifty defenders. 5 speed may make a difference. So we only have the mummies. We're doing some real theory crafting here. I'm all for it. Hopefully Gallant ignores Dawn, and then I can actually move the troops back over. Nope. I'm going to just accept that for now. And then Celia, can you make it now? I bet she can. But can she actually defeat the army of Burton? Let's give ourselves the best possible chance here, and let's just see. Because it's possible. Possible. Okay, it says we lose there, of course. 2 dwarves is actually interesting because they could end up resisting a spell, which would be pretty bad. I will have to see. Let's see. No dispel magic. So we've got 34 spell points. That's 4. That's only 4 lightning bolts, isn't it? So 1. Oh, death ripple, death ripple, death ripple. You guys are totally right. I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Immediately, I'm like, ugh. You guys are right. That's the strategy. Death ripple is. Oh, wow. And he even took a shot at me there. Yeah, death ripple. That changes everything actually, doesn't it? Ah, and the dwarves still resisted that spell. I feel very much sad about it. Bloodlust, okay. And I think I'm just gonna take my lightning bolt shot here. I do get it. Okay, and so we do get the castle. So let's examine this. Another thing you could surrender when he attacks your secondary. I was waiting for it since I saw it in the Mage Guild. You're right, Figaro. That's totally right. And we could surrender when he attacks your secondary. Do I have enough gold to surrender and then rehire? Let's try this out, folks, because here is our prize. If we get to this point, we immediately have 4 Crusaders. We have champions, we have swordsmen, and most importantly, these are all troops that are not going to be leveraged against us, right? So this is probably the most winningest strategy that we have, because then we can hold up and we can stay on top of Sir Gallant, things like that. Lose the skelly zombies, get the lightning bolts in, save the vampy boys. Save the vampires. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then use all those spells. If we can take this castle, this gives us the foothold that we need. I think that this is a very, very viable strategy, and I'm glad that we tested this out. I never would have done that in a million years. I would have taken one more step onto this observation tower. I would have seen all the surrounding area, and I would not have had enough movement points to make that happen. So let's do that one more time, just because there are some additional strategies we can do there. we are officially to the point where after 2.5 hours, we're saying, look, we're here to have a good time, but we're also here to like get stuff done. Give the people what they want. Woo, theory crafting fun. Yes, yes, exactly. I'm all for it. Might as well move the boar over. How about, huh? So skeletons, vampires, these guys. Let's see. Teamwork makes the scam work. Yeah, that is kind of how I feel at the moment. But you know what? There's nothing wrong. Guys, there's nothing wrong with playing the game in the way that you want to. Oftentimes I do kind of pride myself on the fact that I don't really use reloads and saves and stuff like that. But I hope that that doesn't stop any of you guys from enjoying the game the way that you want to play, or anybody within the sound of my voice. I want you guys to play the game in a way that makes the very most sense to you. And so, we don't have actually a lightning bolt on Dawn. How is that even possible? She never stepped in. I guess we hired her after we got that second level mage guild. Whoops. Okay. So there's not a lot of damaging spells there. I don't know. Maybe Sir Gallant goes south. Maybe he leaves us alone. We've been here for 2.5 hours. Time flies. Yeah, we have actually been here for 2.5 hours. That's what it's saying on my little OBS recording studio that I have. It says we've been here for a minute, or just a second, as it were. Right now, if we were to surrender, we can surrender for 6,000 gold. I think you're right. Let's try and get rid of the skeletons. Let's try and save the vampires. The rangers are going to attack the vampires. Is it possible to save any of these other troops? It's going to take 2 more turns for these skeletons to even get down there. 3k gold income next turn. And if I surrender now, it's 5k gold. I can get 1 shot off. I can kill 1 enemy troop somewhere, and then I can surrender. Because the vampires have no retaliation, I'm not going to lose another vampire. Should I just... you know what? The vampires are the priority stack. I'm not going to be able to lose these extras. And because I'm not going to be able to just lose them for free, let's accept this surrender now. Sucks. I hate it. But we do have 3k gold still. So we will be able to rehire in just a moment. We're definitely going to split our troops, probably into 2 stacks here. And we're going to take this town. Okay, and this is going to be the way that we kind of move forward with this. Weird. So weird that we're not even up to Vampire Lords, and this is kind of what the game has given us. Like, this is just what the game has given us. Oh. We lost our boar. I forgot about that guy. I feel so bad. Figaro's like, yes, 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 yes. That was exactly what Figaro's been waiting for ever since he saw. It's ever since they saw the opportunity with the Death Ripple. So we're gonna wait here overnight. There's no way that Natasha can beat us, but we're gonna get full spell points, and we're hopefully gonna turn the tide on Sir Gallant in just 1 second. We're gonna want Crusaders anyway. Not 3 of them though. Our income is currently 3,600 gold per day. Might as well purchase everybody, and then tomorrow we're gonna have enough gold to get that other hero as needed. So Sir Gallant turns south. Game is 1 already for me now. Yeah. Poor Piggy, sad face. Yeah. We're all very, very sad about that. Tell you what, because we've got that Death Ripple, I don't even know if we need to do more for Natasha other than just attack her with these undead troops. 1 undead, 1 Death Ripple, and then maybe like 1 Lightning Bolt, splitting the mummies into multiple stacks. Let's do that. Yeah, let's just attack her here. It'll say that we lose because she's got spells, but I know that we're going to win because we've got other stuff. And if worse comes to worse, we do still have the Animate Dead. 1 Death Ripple, that should kill most. Not all, but most. And hopefully Royal Mummies can actually just kill 16 peasants. Yes! Can kill peasants before, and while we lightning bolt the archers. Yeah, that's going to work out just fine for us. I think that these Royal Mummies should be able to kill the archers. Let me just double check though. 40 points of damage still. Yeah, so it's going to be a lightning bolt here. And we're going to head south. We did pick up some nice new spells, by the way, folks. Let's just take a quick look here. Happy to see the AoE damaging spell with the fireball. Thrilled to see the anti-magic. What else am I happy to see? Disrupting Ray, always a good spell. There's some good spells here. And Bloodlust actually does work on the undead, so always happy to see that as well. So that fight goes much better. I feel like that's going to be our new running inside joke, by the way, Figaro. I think that every time there's a Disrupting Ray or excuse me, a Death Ripple opportunity, we're going to have to make that happen. I like people. I haven't really looked into it or how it works, but I love people who have custom emotes for their chat. I need to get a Death Ripple emote that just has like the spell scroll or something like that. So that way you can be like, yes, yes, yes. That would be ideal. Let's make that happen. I don't know if I can hold this town, folks. I'm going to do my darndest though. We're going to do our very best with these troops. We're going to hire this hero here with all these extra undead troops. We're going to consider moat first, and then we're going to look at maybe upgrading some of the troops. We're going to hope that with the lightning bolts that we can hold on and we can just win this fight. I don't know if there's another enemy skulking around here. I'm going to assume that there's not, and that 3 Crusaders can hold down the fort in case somebody tries to backdoor us. Man, you're too nice, I mean it. Well, I haven't done it yet, so, you know, we'll just wait and see. But that would sound great to me. Lombard, Gold Tent. There's some very important things for that later. We'll have to take a look and see. Sir Gallant is far enough away. I can get this Magic Garden and back. Here and here. Can't reach us yet. Let's go to more than any other upgrades. Let's go for the right turret. And I do believe that Dawn, it's the thought that counts. Still waiting on a Discord disappointed dad emote. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't actually know. I've got another confession to make. I don't actually know quite how Discord works. Like, I've joined Discords in the past, but part of my delay is that I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I should probably figure that out sooner rather than later. I will sincerely work on doing better with that. I really will. Picking up vampires here. We got the Death Ripple, but we don't have the Animate Dead. That's going to be a little bit interesting. Definitely using Death Ripple emote as a skull reaction emoji. RIP. RIP. Everybody's dead. Very sad. Very sad. Yeah. Real quick, folks, by the way, so Astra here, if you see this portrait, I've mentioned this in the past, there's an artifact that has the flavor text that says that you free a sorceress from a tomb and then she gives you as a reward some whatever. If you look at this weird lettering on the left-hand side of her face in this portrait, I swear that Astra the sorceress is actually that sorceress who is released from this cursed tomb because of these kind of hieroglyphic type of markings and this, you know, tombish looking back wall. I think that Astra is that sorceress. Fun little nifty thing, just in case you're interested, just throwing that out there. Also, is there a Phixfox Discord? I will work on getting a Phixfox Discord. I will have that soon. Tell you what, I will make you guys a promise. I will promise that I will have a Discord by this Friday. I promise. Yep, I will promise I will have a Discord by Friday. And maybe that's why she's angry. Maybe that's why she's angry, because she just got released. And then that way, what? What? Good night, Blue. Back to the Future type of disappearance. Fixed luck. Guys, that was incredible. I don't even know how many of those Crusaders that they did or didn't kill. They took them down from like a pack down to several. But Blue goes down. Here's where this is important though. We now have to be looking out for heroes. Every single week in the tavern, we have to be looking for new heroes. And that's a good problem to have, by the way, just in case you were wondering if that's a good or a bad problem. Oh yeah, that's a good problem. Blue player is a paid actor. You know, I wonder, wouldn't it be funny if eventually the AI just says like, okay, you know what? You're not exciting. I need you to just leave, and they'll just give up. That would be kind of funny. Don, how you doing, sir? Heroic greetings to you as well. They got scared and had a heart attack due to the death ripple. We just saw blue implode upon themselves in the funniest way I've seen in a long time. That was actually so funny. That was so funny. And we're going to be talking about this one for a long, long time. I can already tell you that's going to be our new inside joke is blue just falling apart, falling to pieces. We're going to take our one Josh Barbarian. He's going to go into the swamp here. We need to get all this extra free stuff as soon as we can. There's a pack of red dragons guarding the pass here to the south. So long as they are there, I feel somewhat safe, but it might be something of a bit of, I don't know, how do you say, a false sense of security. We got to get to Bone Dragons as quickly as possible. It's day 4 with no blue enemies around. Folks, we've got some unique opportunities that we may never get in any other map like this again. Gold mines, resources, crystal over here, maybe a save just to be sure. Sure, why not? Again, I don't usually use saves, but because we're 2.5 hours in and we've restarted, how many times have we restarted? Like 6 or 7 times at least. It makes sense at some point to just say, look, we're still testing this map out in large part because of the changes from patch to patch. I don't feel I've already beaten this scenario in the past. You can find the full playthrough of my blind playthrough of this map on YouTube if you'd like. And it was a pretty crazy, exciting playthrough. And the more I play this now again, the luckier I feel. I recognize now just how lucky I got the previous time. And I make no apologies for it because we do create our own luck. And that is kind of the way it is. And yet, luck it still was, and that's okay. So, yeah, just to see how far we can go in this scenario, it's always possible in this scenario, unfortunately, to run into an issue where the enemy overwhelms you with long-term castles. As of right this very second, folks, green has something like 8 castles of all knight-based factions compared to our 1 necromancer and 1 knight faction castle. They are a force that will obliterate us if given the chance. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And so it's pretty darn important that we are careful, cautious, and we don't just feel like the scenario is won. Essentially what we've done is we've completed the first leg in the journey. And I'm all for it, but again, there's still much more to be had. I'm playing this fight so poorly. Thankfully, the battle doors are being very kind to us. Killing only 1 vampire at a time. Only, I say. As I try and keep these stacks of creatures managed. So far, so good. Yeah. Ooh. Tell you what, I feel like I need a breather just so I can not be on tilt. L Hazard 42. Hey, Phixfox. Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Glad to have you back. Glad to catch you on stream. I told you that there were dragons guarding the south path. You did. You did. I forgot that you told me that, but you totally did. Yeah. And in the last playthrough I did on this, which again was I think patch 1.09, there was the blue player was so good and aggressive that they usually go through these red dragons in the past, and now on this current patch they do not. And that's pretty darn interesting to me, because that means that we have to go through them, sure, but it also means that if an enemy wants to come to us, they have to go through those red dragons as well. And I can see that being kind of useful. You know, pluses and minuses. And that's why we're playing this scenario the way that we are, is just to see what the differences are between the AIs. Because that is always an intriguing force for me. We do have this aqua barrier here, and we did just pick up this aqua tent. So we can go through there if we want to. I'm very hesitant to do so. I will show you more or less where it goes to. Summon boat. Summon boat. Summon boat. Are there any boats on this map? Could we just cross the channel here? That would be amazing. It's... No. But amazing all the same. Let's pick up the marketplace while we can. Red player has been vanquished. So folks, blue player is positioned in this location. Red player is across the river here in this general area. Okay. There's this long kind of land bridge you have to go through the red dragons to get into this area, and then it widens out into red's territory. And then there is a set of Liths blocking off red from green. I think that red has 2, maybe 3 castles in their territory, and then green has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more castles. And then beyond that, there's one more enemy that you have to defeat, and that is Krager. So there's an awful lot to go through still here. And the fact that red has just been vanquished means that every single second that green is allowed to live, they are going to overwhelm us drastically. They're going to have 8 or 9 castles to our 2. How do you overcome that? You also have that morale artifact. I do have the morale artifact. Not to brag, but we do have the +1 to our morale. So how do we overcome that? Well, I think that what I didn't do last time is I didn't play around with this aqua barrier. And I think that this time I will. I think that this time I'm going to play around with this aqua barrier where I'm going to go through it. And I'm just going to have a hero stand on the Lith as a doorstop. And that way I can do some hit and run tactics through the Liths without having to fear enemy retaliation. There's no guarantees that we're going to be okay, but it's a possibility anyway. That's my hope. At this point, you need to get a broken level 5 spell. I completely agree with you. And basically, we have 2 chances. We have 2 chances. We have 1 mage guild here, and we have 1 mage guild up here. I think that broken spells are the only thing at this point that can counter might for us. Those elves are gone. We were hoping that there was going to be some elves there. Agar and Astra, neither of them are special. Blue did lose some heroes that had some really nice artifacts on them. Let's see if we can find them. Charity's not it, and Ariel's not it. Level 5 guilds cost too much. They cost a ton, but I do have 1 of each available to me in this area. Need us that 10 spell point Armageddon. 5 gems there. I'm with you. It's not very likely that we have... there's not a lot of good paths forward to take. How about that? I don't know what this witch's hut is. Do I want to find out? Sure. I'll take the time just to find out. But actually, I think that, sure, let's get our liches and our bone dragons as soon as we possibly can. But once we do that, I think that we're going to be okay. Wisdom. I think we're going to be okay to move forward. Oh, that witch's hut had wisdom, and the AI actually had wisdom. That's pretty nuts. I do need a little bit more experience, so that way I can get the Xanadu. I'm going to pick up the Summon Boat. You never know. Right now, it seems like the calm before the storm. This is the time where we can consolidate our forces and do the very best we can to move forward without losing, because we're going to see the enemy coming a long way. But the clock is ticking. I have no reason to believe that red is not did not slow green down enough, and that green is quickly coming up this land bridge towards us. In reward for helping his cart out of the ditch, a traveling potion salesman gives you a magic gold watch. Unbeknownst to him, the watch really is magical. If we can get a hypnotize spell, that could double the effectiveness of our hypnotize spells. Add that on to the fact that we've got this helmet of Anduin for the plus knowledge. That actually could be useful. We will see. What are the requirements for Xanadu? We are currently level 9 or level 8. You either have to be level 10, yep, Rise to Ruin, level 10 hero or diplomacy skill. Because your diplomacy skill for basic, that lowers that requirement by 1, and then advanced 1 more on top of that, and so on and so forth. But I prefer not to defeat these dragons if I don't have to. If I could find a way around, that'd be pretty nifty. And so for that reason, we are going to do this. Dawn is now officially a doorstop. We don't care about Dawn whatsoever. A magical barrier stands tall before you, blocking your way. Runes on the arch read, speak the key and you may pass. As you speak the magic word, the glowing barrier dissolves into nothingness. We're gonna go through here, and so this Lith takes us over into Red's territory over here. I'm guessing that this has all been completely taken away from us. There's nothing free over there. Somebody's already taken a little bit of everything over there, I can almost guarantee you. Lots of centaurs, we better clear that out while we can. Actually, how close are we to the next level? It's not one bit of centaurs away. Just need sulfur, and we have 2 marketplaces to trade. Not that great. I wonder if, as I defeat this fight very, very quickly, I wonder if it's worthwhile if it's more worth it to go through red dragons, or if it's more worth it to be the only one that has access to these Liths. We're not going to know until we send a hero through the Liths to do some more exploring. I don't know if there's a nearby observation tower. We'll have to wait and find out. On day 6, we're going to trade for the sulfur necessary if we don't already have it. Pick up summon boat. There's no boats to summon, I'm sure. If there is one boat to summon, though, we got to try it. We just have to cover all of our bases. Could you imagine if the map designers left that in the game and they purposely left a way for you to just cheese the map? That sounds like something a Heroes of Might and Magic developer might do, actually. It really does. We're going to try it. We're going to turn over every stone. I'm going to drop these troops off. We'll take the halflings, combine the vampires. And Jojosh can reach to be the new doorstop. Dawn's going to go through and she's going to start exploring for us. I imagine that she's going to immediately be destroyed. I don't think that she has any chance at sticking around for any considerable length of time. I think that there's a castle there. We're going to take one step over so we can see. West Fork, no defenders, because nobody considers peasants a defender. Dawn, the legendary doorstop, got a nice ring to it. Enslaved sorceress escaping prison to become a bait hero doorstop. Yeah, that was, in fact, for that reason, she's like, yeah, I'll go be your sacrificial lamb. I'll definitely go explore and die immediately. That's way better than just being a doorstop. Oh, and actually she gets to survive for one more turn. So we do see for the first time the enemy. Throng of rangers, several crusaders, lots of champions, a horde of master swordsmen, lots of the veteran pikemen. This is not a fun fight at all. I think that we need to trend in this general direction. I do want to see what this 3rd level spell is, Paralyzed. That could actually be really useful. If we don't pick up a blind, that's going to be a very nice pickup. But all of Red's lands encompass around here, and then this river runs and separates Red from Green, and you go through here to get to the rest of Green. If you put a hero on the portal, they can't pass, right? Correct. In Heroes 3, that's not the case. In Heroes 3, if there is a log jam, yep, Rise to Ruin says, if there's a log jam, then they will fight each other on the Liths. But not so in Heroes 2. Not so. Which I think is a good change. I think I'm fine for that change. I messed it up. No, I didn't. Never mind. We're just going to be 1 week behind on Bone Dragons. I'm going to see who this hero is. This wasn't even the hero that we just looked at. This is Lord Kilburn, 6 attack, 8 defense, 2 spell power, 4 knowledge, blood morale. And there's 5 of your rangers. Any reason to keep Dawn? No. And so then immediately we see Tyro and we see Kilburn. If they combine their forces, that's well over, that's nearly, probably around 200 rangers you have to deal with. Not to mention several in a pack. That's at least lots of Crusaders. That's at least a horde of champions. That's at least a throng of Master Swordsmen. And that's at least a throng of pikemen. We're talking 100 pikemen, 100 Master Swordsmen, at least 50 plus champions. That's at least 20 to 50 Crusaders, and that's about 200 Rangers. That's what the strength Green has is right now. And what do we have? Nada. 5th level spells it is, folks. 5th level spells it is. Again, though, I've just got to try. Nope, there are no boats available for the spell to summon. Darn, we tried. It was a good try. Vampire stacks and anime dead? Yeah, I think so. That Badge of Courage is going to be great because we can actually mix troops now, whereas before we would really have struggled. I think it's going to be these 3 troops and these 3 troops. Marketplace is below the Pack of Dragons. Okay. And here's my thought, folks. Here's the strategy I want to try, and this is the strategy that we're going to go with. Okay, I'm going to let Green be big and bad and scary. I can't stop them. What I can do is I can have them go north with all their forces, go through the dragons, and as they take this area from me, I let them go up, and then I pull the rug out from under them and I go through the list myself. I think that that's one of the best things that I can do at this time. I can't beat them. I have to avoid them until I can get into their breadbasket, get into more of their production, because I can't beat these guys. It may be worth it to me to, again, focus on these levels of Mage Guild. But I don't want to go through the dragons. I want that to be the last barrier that they have to coming to me. And I think I'll take big enough losses that even for the trading, I think I got enough resources with 105 wood and 2 Mage Guilds. I mean, I can trade for Mage Guilds right now. Well, it's not that good actually, is it? You might be right, El Hazard. You might be totally right. Maybe we do have to go through the dragons. So tell you what, let's do that. Let's bring up troops. We're gonna get one more hero here. It's day 1. Unfortunately, neither of these heroes are the heroes that we wanted to find, because again, blue has some heroes that were actually really, really good. They just died with artifacts, and we are hoping that we can find them eventually. Let me just check. There's Dawn again. Whoops. Nobody make eye contact. That is so awkward when you lose a hero like that, and then they're just like, hey, I'm back. You're gonna hire me back, right? And you're like, no. But we're gonna keep an eye on these guys. We're gonna go back, see if we can upgrade Mage Guild levels. This one's level 3, that one's level 2. I think we're gonna do the safer one as level 5 Mage Guild. That's what we're gonna do. Green is maybe wasting time. And every moment that they don't attack us, let's be clear, they're getting stronger, not me. And so we really do need to do our very, very best to come up with a plan as quickly as possible. You have Expert Wisdom. I do have Expert Wisdom, so 5th level Mage Guilds are viable. Let's pick up all these troops. All these troops. This gold is not a problem. And so I can actually use those 5th level spells very, very well. Pack red dragons with this army. Spells aren't going to help me. Animate Dead's not going to help me. 2 attack, 6 defense. I think I wait one more week before I do that. Still looking at Mage Guild levels. Did I ever pick up this observation tower? I did not. I need to. Because that's actually going to let me know when the enemies are heading my way sooner rather than later. I'll do a new day there. We just have to make sure we get bone dragons by day 7 here, so we can skip a couple of turns. 5 gems. Up to day 5. Observation tower here. Water summoning altar? I don't know about that. That doesn't seem like a viable strategy for me. Before we do anything else, pick up the lab. It's likely actually that the enemy has picked up those heroes that I wanted to already. Remember, Lightning Helm and Lightning Rod. If we can find those artifacts, we'll be feeling great. Again, we're gonna wait one more turn here. Oh, and there he is. Here he comes. Here he comes, friends. Nope, Lord Kilburn doesn't have enough. Does not have enough. And so we're gonna wait just a little bit longer. Keeping track of what other enemy heroes we can. They did hire Ambrose. That was the one we were looking for. Ambrose, the knight, has the lightning rod and the lightning helm. By now he could have given it to somebody else, but boy, not good. And again, the longer that this scenario goes, the worse it is for us. And so waiting all this time, I don't think it's the right decision. I think we might have messed up there. But we've decided that we needed these troops so we could go through the dragons, so that way we could get to the trading post so we could trade for the resources necessary to get some really nice spells. So that's what we're going to do there. Have we not been picking up ore this whole time? Oh gosh. That's exciting. That's exactly how you like to do it. Don't love this fight, we're going to do it anyway. Again, doing it for the trading post. Yeah, look at this, folks. Holy cow. We can't even do this fight. Oh no. Oh gosh. This is so many dragons. What in the heck? Holy cow. In the past, the enemy's been the one to defeat these for me. I haven't even had to touch them. And now, all of my knight forces are just obliterated. Blitzed. And for what? For some additional spells? I think that's a critical error. But we'll check out the losses in just a second, but I don't think that that's the right decision at all. I don't know if this was a good idea. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because we're going to defeat the Black Dragons in a second, but yeah, we don't really have a strong hero. We're in this weird spot where with 2 attack, 6 defense, we're not really strong, and we definitely don't win against knights. But also, our spells are really not super great, even as it currently stands. Even if we were dropping lightning bolts on the enemy's heads right now, it's not going to be enough. It's really not enough. Yeah, so this fight, we're gonna back out of this fight gracefully in just a second. We're just gonna back out of this fight gracefully now. Again, generally I don't use saves, but we're gonna do the autosave. Again, I don't usually use them, but for this scenario, because we're nearly 3 hours in, it makes the most sense to not waste our time to start over again. Okay. It might be better taking the portal south with knights, vampires, and bone dragons and turtling in one of his castles. Like turtling here or something like that. I don't think that's a bad idea. Why not sneak into the castle near the portal? It's a good decision. There's no reason why not to, that's for sure. There's no reason not to. I've got it in my head that it makes sense to let the enemy defeat the dragons and come up this area. And then I can go through the portal while they're busy. It just looks like they haven't done that just yet. And I don't know, maybe the AI is not going to ever do that. And if they never do that, then you're just stuck here and you're eventually going to lose that way. We were going through those dragons ourselves initially. Later, Figaro. Hopefully, have a great night. Off to bed. Thanks for the pleasant night in chat. Hope the death ripple will death ripple your enemies away. Yeah, man. Hey, appreciate it. Have a great night. Dragons will protect you. I think that they will for a while. We'll see how long it protects us. But green was not going north. They were going back home for resupplies and stuff. Jeez. Okay. Time to start getting up levels of Mage Guild. More than even the troops, I think. Got to see what these 5th level spells are. Have to. Have to. This would be one of those times, if this was real life, where I'd probably call for a truce. I would call up my friend and say, hey, buddy, you keep what you have currently and I'll keep what I have. And we're just going to call it even. And then hope that they don't change their mind later. I would probably honestly do that. It might not be a very exciting thing, but I think it would be the prudent decision. We need 18 crystal to make this happen. There's one extra little bit here. Need to trade for sulfur in massive amounts. Trade for 10 right now. Meteor shower, mass cure, view towns, cold ray. This is actually good, folks. I'm gonna do the view towns just so you can see how dire our situation is. We currently have 1 necro castle and 1 knight castle. They currently have this knight castle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 that they've been getting troops from this whole time, plus this 5th. And so it's 5 castles against 2. Tell you what though, 4 against 3 actually is possible. A good strategy can be to recruit peasants to make a stack of skeletons. That is a good strategy. Yeah, that's a great strategy. Because I've got how many peasants here? 88. I may do that sooner rather than later. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I appreciate that. That's the kind of flexibility that I live for. Because if you're not thinking about these kind of strategies, then you're putting yourself in a rough spot. Look at this, Maximus the Knight level 12. Folks, we got a winner here. Okay. We're gonna step out. We're gonna immediately purchase Maximus the Knight. Maximus has just become our best hero. Their south castle is isolated. Might be a good idea to take it ASAP. I agree. I think that as good as spells are, he's got. Does he have spells? He's got good stuff, but he doesn't have wisdom. Oh no. And so the investment in spells is not going to be that useful. But he has 7 attack, 7 defense. And then you throw on all these artifacts. You've got a 7 attack, 12 defense, 7 spell power, 5 knowledge hero. versus a 2 attack, 6 defense, 9 spell power, 8 knowledge hero, I don't think there's any question. I think you want Maximus as your new #1 guy. Wisdom with the Witch Hut, unfortunately, he's got full artifacts, or he's got full slots on him. Blind will be very useful on him, I agree. I don't think we picked up the blind actually though, did we? I don't think he has it. Oh, we do, we've got the blind. Yeah, and the blind will be very, very useful for him. Not to mention all these artifacts. I think that this is the best place to go with our new fighting force. He's just better. He's just better. He has not been to Xanadu. We're going to run him up to Xanadu immediately. We're going to give him the fastest troop we can here. For now, it's going to be Champions and Crusaders. We're going to go pick up this extra bonus, and then in the next week or so, we're going to go through the West Fork. In fact, he's got to go to this far. We're going to hire a hero here who's going to do a hero chain to get the troops over one more turn earlier. But I do want to pick up +1, +1, +1. I think that's going to be useful for us. Okay. Folks, our favors, everything just changed drastically. He does have blind. Yep, you're totally right. And it would have been so cool if he had actually had the wisdom. I would have gone bananas. BANANAS. Good thing Maximus has navigation. It could have been worse. Natasha's back, funny enough. I'm going to wait until a hero tomorrow actually is ready to go. As I upgrade these troops, because these troops are going to come with us. No sense in getting additional levels of Mage Guild just yet. Go to here. We learned 4 stats. And there is no special good hero here. It's going to be Vitania. Well, I guess she's level 2. She was somebody's deal. Got the ref. Yeah. Got the ref. I actually... ¿Qué pasa? Got the ref. Struggling to figure out what that means. Help me out, bud. Got the ref. The referendum, the referential, the referee. Got the something. Something's happening. I think Vitania is going to be able to reach pretty far next turn. Let's go to here. And so Maximus is just going to go along the road right here. Got the reference. Oh, reference to Gwen. Okay, gotcha. There we go. Perfect. So a lot of folks that I spend time with, talking about Heroes, Might, and Magic and stuff, are not usually, I don't want to say they're not usually English speakers. There's a wide audience that is not English speaking though. Big enough that I really try and do my best to avoid using shorthand language. For example, the other day, I wrote somebody something. I said, oh, the devs can help you out. And you can't really translate devs, right? You have to really write out developers in order for people to understand what you're talking about. Otherwise, you can just kind of have some misunderstandings. And it's been actually kind of good for me to try and do more to make sure my language is inclusive and fully understandable, because otherwise I do shorthand everything. If you haven't noticed, I will often slip into these patterns of speaking that are very much not typical. While my part of the country in America has a pretty neutral accent, we definitely have some pretty weird sayings that I envision that someday someone's going to say, yeah, that's a thing that every American says, right? And their friend is going to have to be like, no, dude, I don't know who you're getting your English from, but they are pretty weird. Question, would the person giving the reference be the referee? Thoughts like this keep me up at night. Yeah, they would be the referee, wouldn't they? I think that they would. I think that that's exactly how the English language works. Granted, the English language is much like 3 weirdos in a trench coat, because English just takes so much from so many other languages and then lets it masquerade around. Like we combine a little bit of French, a little bit of Latin, a little bit of Greek, a little bit of whatever, and then we pretend like it's our own. No, we just stole our language from everybody else. It's kind of how I feel about English. The referencee, that is probably more correct, Vamp. Yeah, probably more correct. Okay. I brought all these troops up here, even though I don't think that we're going to use them all. Because I think that 32 Vampire Lords, 7 Bone Dragons, and then probably, let's upgrade these Liches. Whatever the cost, I will pay it. We're going to upgrade these Liches into Power Liches. I think that that's going to be the best army for us. It's not going to be great. This leaves a lot to be desired. It looks good here, but not good up against the enemies that I worry we are soon going to be facing. We will see. Unfortunately, these Grand Elves, they're just kind of in my way right now. I don't think they're ever going to factor into my late game army. And I think that this is going to be it. We have one stack of 14 Power Liches. Is 14 Power Liches better or worse than the Rangers? We've got the basic archery. I think that the Power Liches are better just because they have higher defense. Yeah, and they're immune to spells, so I think that's going to be better for us. Yeah, that's why words like, it sounds like fish exist. Yeah, G-H-O-T-I. It is spelled weird, but it sounds like fish, yep. That makes sense too. Our real power is going to be in these Vampire Lords. We do have the Spell Scroll. That should mean that even if we don't have the Wisdom, we do still have the Animate Dead spell. So this is our army. This is what we're doing. It's day 3, folks. There's no time like the present. Let's keep on going and hope for the best. Okay. And they have high speed. Yes, the higher speed for the Power Liches does make a lot more sense too as well. I'm going to wait to spring my trap. Joe Josh is not going to go until somebody else comes out. West Fork. Maximus does have a lot of movement points. He's got 1,900 movement points. We're just going to see real quick as I step out of the way, opening the gate. We're going to see how close or how far Maximus can get up this road. Because if I can take this town unawares before they fill it up, that'd be ideal. We might be able to reach along the road. Nope. Ah! Riders of Rohan, Lord of the Rings reference. Good luck on the other side. Yeah, see you on the other side. We may never meet again. In fact, I fear that we never shall. Green is probably going to buy a lot of troops here. I don't care. We have to hold steady. Have to hold our forces. Let's see what they do purchase. Okay, full army here. I don't love that. I would have loved to have really just gotten those troops. It's quite possible, as close as we were, in fact, I'm guessing it was, if we had backed Joe Josh off and then had Maximus stand on the Liths, he probably had enough movement points to save ourselves the issue from fighting these troops. It looks like it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to accept these losses, but still, I would have loved to have had those troops in my army rather than just have them given up. Mass Curse, Set Fire Guardian. There's some good spells here. Really, really wish we had the opportunity to cast those with Maximus, but again, he is the best hero we have. Okay, Bone Dragons are too slow. Also, I fully agree with using less abbreviations to make your language more inclusive, but don't feel too bad about weird sayings. Every language, dialect, and sometimes even groups of people have weird slangs and sayings, and personally, I always find it neat when someone has a funny or interesting saying. I appreciate that very much. Because, yeah, I spent some time, I'm from the northwest of the United States, and then more than 2,000 miles away is the southeast of the United States. And the Deep South has some really fun sayings. And first off, it's basically like trying to speak a brand new language. You can speak English and still have no idea what some people are saying. It's just that thick of an accent. And I don't ever know when I'm going to come across something that's so brand new and so exciting or not. But I'm always excited for it. I'm trying to think of one saying that really knocked my socks off. What was a saying that I thought was just so fun or so interesting? Oh, they didn't actually pick up all the Rangers. Huh. Well, for example, different sayings from different places. I know that in America, it's raining cats and dogs. That's the general saying. In other places, it's definitely not raining cats and dogs. It's raining all sorts of things. I think we've got some people from the Netherlands here, from Norway, from Sweden. I think we've got a couple people from the Philippines. I think that everybody's got their own saying for, hey, it's raining really, really hard. And I'm always interested to hear if you guys remember, if you guys know what your saying is for your place. I'm going to send Luna out. I don't know what to do, folks. Maximus, I'm going to go up this road just because I want to explore a little bit. And I don't want to get stuck in here. But I'm also like very, very scared that an enemy is going to come here and cause me grief pretty quickly. I just got to get more knowledge. I need to know what else is coming my way. Windmill here. I think that there's like halflings or something to the bottom right. There's this Heart of the Magi. Let's see if we can pick that up. Maximus is going to go to the north against my better judgment. Because again, I don't want him to get stuck. between a rock and a hard place, aka dragons. There's this observation tower. We're going to get the observation tower and see if an enemy is ready to pop out at us just yet. Agreed. I'd even include colorful swearing in that. In my language, the worst thing you can call someone is the son of an owl. Owls are considered dumb. I had no idea. Is that French Canadian, Rise? What is that? That we're calling somebody? Oh, I think I know exactly the word, actually, now that I think about it. I think I actually know what the word is. Never mind. I'm not going to make you say it. Oh, Hindi. Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm sorry. I got you confused. My apologies. But in Hindi, it's son of an owl. Very interesting. I never would have guessed. I am not a native English speaker, but I learned something from a very young age, and I'm very comfortable speaking it. When I talk to my friend from Washington State, they use so much slang, I never get it. Yeah. I learned from a young age, I'm very comfortable speaking it, but there's enough weird stuff that happens, enough weird sayings, that it makes things weird. Now I want to know which word you were thinking of. Well, if it was French Canadian, I don't want to say it. It starts with a T, but it's the equivalent to probably the more vulgar word you can use in English, and you use it as an expletive, and you use it as in a lot of different ways. Some of the expletives can be very colorfully used, including things like an adjective, a noun, a verb, etc., etc. I will let you know in a private message. I'll let you know what the word was in a private message. I try and keep my streams PG. I really do. Occasionally I do fail, but I really try and make this a nice, safe, inclusive space. Because here's the deal. Does harsh language bother me? The answer is no, not really. It doesn't. I've been in several situations and with several different people where rough language is just the norm, and I'm used to it, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I don't really want to be used to it, but I am. It is what it is. And I have found several, for example, movies in my life that I really enjoy. I think that they're good movies, they're well made, they're fun. But I find myself watching them less and less. They don't have a lot of replay value for me because the language is rough enough that I just say to myself, I don't really need that. You know, it's not a big deal. I don't mind if people use rough language around me. I certainly don't want people to feel self-conscious with their language around me, but I try not to use it myself. Just so that way just so I can be inclusive to the space. I've mentioned plenty of times, I used to work at a wilderness therapy program in the middle of the Arizona desert with at-risk youth. These were kids aged 12 to 20 who had issues with drugs, depression, alcohol, things like that. Good kids, all of them. And it was always very, very interesting because they would start off using the same language that they always had. They would use the same swears and the same general vulgarity and the whatever. And again, does it really matter to me? Does it really bother me? Not that much. It really doesn't bother me that much. But what we found was that without even anyone saying, hey, please watch your language or anything like that, being out in nature, they would slowly realize or say to themselves, the language feels a little too harsh out here. Like certain things that are funny in the city and in the bustling around tons and tons of people, they don't sit well with their hearts and with their souls when they're out in nature, just enjoying, breathing the clean air and things like that. And so you wouldn't really have to say, hey, I'd appreciate if you didn't use that kind of language around me. They would just stop because they didn't want to use that kind of language. It just changed kind of the vibe for them. I hope this is making sense where I'm saying, I'm not really trying to put anybody at odds or anything like that. Just something I've noticed. 792 peasants. It's a lot of peasants. Nice. Okay, but Luna did a good job as a scout, by the way. She did a great job. I'm happy with everything she's done. Green is not into me. In the past, they would have not let me keep this castle for one single week. They would have kept the pressure on and they would have just go. And I wonder why they're not. I wonder if with the new patch, the AI is trying to defend Lord Krager to some degree. I can't help but wonder if that's one of the differences between patches. I remember learning French in elementary school. We'd make a habit of asking the teacher what seal is in French, like the animal, like the seal, like Or. Zounds of Peasants could be a gold mine for the expert necro. Yeah, Celia might still have some play here. I certainly think so. My family has this saying, which is translated roughly to take the turkey animal to the x-ray. Can anyone guess what that means? Take the turkey to the x-ray? I have no idea. It's interesting. I have no idea what that could possibly mean. Take the turkey to the x-ray. You're gonna have to help me with that, and I'm so very interested to find out what that means, because that's a very interesting saying. Tree of Knowledge, apparently Maximus, that's bugged. It was supposed to say, look at this, not claimed, but Maximus has been there because I hired him from somebody else, and so the game didn't keep track of that. I wonder if that's bugged or if that's just something that the FHeroes2 team is aware of and they just take that in stride. Absolutely, why I love the disconnect from the norm nature provides, and why we need more vacation days. Definitely agree with that. It's more than just, hey, I don't want to work. It's good for the soul. And it's the concept of I don't live to work, right? I don't live so I can show up to my job and do work. I live so I can do the things I want to do and spend time with the people that I love and care about and pursue the hobbies and interests of mine. When people talk about AI, that's one of the things that always is kind of interesting to me, because Resurrect True and Mass Slow, we gotta get silly up there, because it seems to me that AI has the potential maybe to do some of these jobs that we don't want to do, and that could potentially give us more free time to do art and poetry and writing and stuff. But for some reason, people are using AI to make art and poetry and writing and stuff. It's like, dude, that's the human thing that we're trying to do, and you're taking that away from us. Stop it. That is not for you, AI. That's for us to do. Don't take the passions from me. Take my work. Lighten my burden in that way. Anyway. Seal. Oh. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense, Rise. That's what that means there. I had no idea. I took just enough French in high school that I can pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And not even that, actually. Never mind. Let me renege on that immediately and just say, no, I pretend like I know enough to pretend like I can't carry on a conversation. Basically, all I can do is I can remember a couple of songs. Thankfully, my French teacher was from South Africa. And so was South Africa? She was from Africa, French-speaking territory in Africa. And so she was a native French speaker. And the way that she taught was a lot of trying to make it practical through songs and conversation and things like that. And unfortunately, years and years later, the only thing that I really remember from my French education was the songs. But she had good taste. And so like Le Roi Soleil is basically the equivalent of a French Broadway play. Actually, that's probably doing a disservice to the French. Not everything has to be compared to the American stuff. It's probably better than that. It's like a French opera. Following, I think it was probably like Louis XIV, and political intrigue, and he falls in love with a commoner, and the evil Cardinal Richelieu is trying to take the power, and there's riots and things of this nature. And the music is so beautiful and so wonderful. And so to this day, I can still do a little bit of it. And so I do enjoy French, but I am woefully lacking. And so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I don't think there's any purchases to make, by the way. Folks, the fact that the AI is not pushing into us actually bodes well for us. I think I can do this. The longer that they leave me alone, the better off I am. Because now it's 4 castles against 3. That actually can go a long, long way for me. It really can. Take the turkey to the x-ray. It means doing nothing. Because you don't x-ray turkeys? Take the turkey to the x-ray. What if the turkey has a broken toe? South Africa, the country, and Southern Africa are largely former British colonies. If your teacher was from Africa and native French, she was from Northwest Africa, likely. Okay, thank you. Yep, I remember that she was from Africa. Where, I had no idea. I know South Africa is mostly English-speaking, but I did not know, where in France, I was not sure. But French, African, from France, from Africa, French-speaking. Okay. And it's another week. Somehow, we are still alive. Picking up spells, and we've got 2 more little bits of Mage Guild here. We've got this Resurrect True we're going to pick up. Folks, if we find Dimension Door, we're probably going to use it. Just saying. Generally, Phixfox doesn't use it. If we get the opportunity, I would just rather to have a win than a loss here. So let's see if we can get lucky. Dimension door. That's it. Okay. And that instantly makes the scenario 1. If you don't have to actually defeat green, then why should you? In the previous playthrough I did, where I defeated the game a couple patches ago, we did end up defeating every little ounce of green. At this point, they are so massive. They are literally throngs of troops. There's no way that we can defeat them. The better strategy here is to avoid them entirely. And the dimension doors is going to be the way that we do that. And so we just picked up that dimension door here in our starting Necro Castle. And for that reason, we're immediately going to back out. We're going to pull back all of our troops, everybody that we have. Only the best of the best of the best are going to get to come with us. Yeah. And then we're going to put all of our forces onto our cheeky spellcaster so that she can just win the game for us by backdooring the enemy. Again, not the way I like to win, but after we've already used so many reloads and saves and stuff, there comes a point where, buddy, we're just here to win, and a win is a win is a win. Dimension doors in your rules? Yep, so I don't use dimension doors. I don't use town portal, I don't use town gate. In this scenario, we've already been here for 3.5 hours. I want to go see my family. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, and I want to get this all done in one day. So I'm sorry for the embarrassment and for the disappointment. My morals and my ethics are severely compromised, and I'm very sorry for it. But we're also going to win. So, you know, pluses and minuses. A little bit of each. Yeah, not the way I like to win, but we're going to go with it. We're going to defeat these packs of Crusaders because why not? Not that bad. And we will pick up this spell. This is, as we mentioned earlier, going to be Fireball. So if you want a Fireball spell, you can always defeat the Crusaders early. So, oh, it's El Hazard helping us with the French, so we understand more about how the seal is said. Very good, very good. Childhood ruin, kidding. Thanks for learning something new every day. Also, in South Africa, they speak Afrikaans, which is language descended from and very similar to the Dutch language. Very interesting. Of course, there are also many indigenous languages, as South Africa is quite diverse for being a single country. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's all good information, and something I am always all for. We talked earlier, I'd shared some information, and I worried that I would come off as being rude or overbearing. And I appreciate very much Vamp mentioned, oh yeah, it's not a problem. Like, I'd rather learn new things. And that's the same way I feel here. So thank you. I appreciate that. I'm all for the knowledge. And that's always good for me. 3 heroes, Hector, Hilburn, Ambrose. I don't actually know where all their big bad forces have gone. I'm a little bit weirded out by that, actually. I truly am. I was expecting to see hordes and swaths of creatures, and unless there's a whirlpool on the map, or unless they do what Blue did and just wander into Crusaders and die instantly, it's not really likely that you're just going to lose forces. I really wonder if maybe the AI is playing to the map objectives and they're just trying to defend. That's the only thing I can think of. That is the only thing I can think of at this point. Okay, they are finally starting to file through. There it is. Zounds of Rangers, a throng of Crusaders, a throng of champions, a throng of Master Swordsmen, and a swarm of veteran pikemen on Tyro. I'm guessing that he is a tremendous hero, and there are still more troops filtering in. Folks, there's no way we are fighting this head on. It is not happening. The AI does not know that we have the Dimension Door. We are not going to tell them until it's too late. They're going to find out at the last possible moment. Krager is going to feel like he is safe and protected. He's not going to be. It's not going to happen. So, Maximus, while a good hero, unfortunately, this is the problem with might versus magic. If you don't have magic, you are going to lose some major opportunities later. And with this 5th level mage guild that Celia has picked up already, with her Dimension Door, where is it? Oh gosh, it's all the way back here, isn't it? Yeah. With this Dimension Door, that changes things drastically. So maybe they are gathering everything. They are. Might have to abandon the South Castle and backdoor their northern ones. Yeah, I'm for that. With Dimension Door, I think I could probably beat every. I could probably beat green, but with Dimension Door, I just don't have to. So I'm not going to. Yeah, I don't like it, but it is what it is. And this army is going to be big enough, I do believe, to defeat Krager with the 13 Bone Dragons and more. So let's have Celia actually leave everybody but the champions. I say that, and then we run into issues here. And then so she can run down immediately, pick up the Dimension Door, and then go back. Oh, might have to abandon the South Castle back to the northern ones. Is the objective to beat a certain castle or faction? I'm so glad you asked. Folks, this is what it is. For the good of the Empire, eliminate Krager. That's our goal. Our goal is to eliminate Krager. Krager is right here. He's got this big army. Sure, he's a big, tough guy. But he and green are completely different. And so we do not have to go through green. We do not have to beat green. Green can do whatever they want to do. And it's not going to bother me if green overwhelms everything. So long as I can lose, like in chess, I can lose every single piece. But so long as I checkmate the king, it's all good. It's all good. Like one single knight that does a smothering attack on a king surrounded by their many, many forces. Then we just don't have to worry so much. We're going to hire these troops here. Ah, solid plan then. Yep, I appreciate that. So yeah, this scenario is actually much quicker to being over than you might have thought. And so I apologize for giving you some whiplash there. We're going to pull these troops here just so we can look at Tyro, just so we can all decide and we can see if this is a good plan or not. I think it's a good plan. I think that we're going to be getting through the scenario in about the next 10 minutes. Okay, and so just so we can see this. Folks, look at this. Oh my gosh. Now, we got nearly 600 Rangers. We have 178 Champions, 132 Crusaders, 230 Master Swordsmen, 277 Veteran Pikemen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I completely agree. And so this is an army you cannot beat. I cannot beat this. I will never be able to beat this. There's no amount of spells. There's no amount of attacking and retreating that I can do with like casting a lightning bolt and then running. This is an army I cannot beat. This is an immovable obstacle. This is a post-late game scenario where might overcomes magic. That's a lot of death waves. That is a lot of death waves. Best AI ever. Yeah. And so the way I defeated this scenario before was before they were able to combine all these forces, I fought all these individual fights one by one by one by one by one. And so I didn't have to deal with this big death ball. And by the skin of my teeth, I was able to overcome and then win. We're not going to do that today. It's not viable. We're going to cast our one spell. We're going to disappear. And we're going to ignore green entirely. And now, if we could, the other plan I had in mind was, say Tyro defeats all this, goes up, goes through the Red Dragons, defeats this castle, and then makes their way all the way down south to here. When he's right here, that's when I take my big army and I go through the Liths, and I backdoor, have another hero stand here, and then I have weeks where he has to go all the way back around in order to catch up to me, and that gives me enough time to backdoor his castles and defeat Lord Krager. That was the other plan I had, and that's what we would have done if we didn't get the Dimension Door. But we have the Dimension Door, and that is just an even bigger shortcut than before. So I think that there's lots of different viable strategies. Remember though, how many times did we have to restart to make this happen? Like 7 times? This is a tough scenario, and I don't love using the Dimension Door. But hey, a win is a win is a win. And I kind of want you guys' opinions on this. You tell me what you think. Is it good that the AI is that tough? Is it good that the AI is so tough that you have to really eke out a serious bit of luck to win some of these scenarios? I consider myself to be a pretty darn good player. I really do. I consider myself to be a pretty darn good player. With all humility and saying that there's probably people better than me out there, and I'm always learning and I'm getting new strategies, I'm a pretty darn good player. And this is what I have to do to beat this scenario? Is that good or bad? That's kind of where the AI is at this point. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. We're going to stay overnight so we can get more spell points. Purchase all these troops, send them down. Power Liches, Crusaders, Champions, Bone Dragons, Vampires. Did I not pick up troops here? Boy, I don't know. With the spells I have, I I've got Resurrect True, I've got Mass Slow, I'll be fine. Without Expert Early Necro, Rush for Night Castle, not getting rushed from the get-go, Lucky-ish with spells and Dimension Door, I don't see this being an easy map by any means. But that's what it took. We had to get the Expert Necro. We had to rush for the Night Castle. We had to do this nutty thing where we were just seeing if it would work, and we barely made it by the skin of our teeth with 8 Royal Mummies and took this castle. If that didn't happen, we're not here right now. Yeah, you're totally right. Lucky-ish with spells and lucky with Dimension Door. Lucky with Dimension Door. You need to trick the AI, but I wonder if what the map designer was thinking. Maybe it was different than the original game, and I can tell you it absolutely is. I'm going to save here just because I'm not going to go back. I'm trying to get this completed before we hit 4 hours on the mark here. In the original game, the AI did not do a good job at all of combining forces. They would have multiple weak heroes just wandering the map. It's the difference in philosophy between should I have one really, really strong hero or multiple pretty good but not too bad heroes. And the AI would opt to have multiple pretty okay heroes, which is, it's a viable strategy. It's just fine. But it presents many more challenges if the heroes all clump together. And so when played on Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold, this map is significantly easier for that reason. Significantly easier. And we have to remember that these maps were made with the original AI in mind, not with the FHeroes2 AI. And so the changes are good, and I like it, but there's definitely we're to the point where some of these scenarios are very inaccessible for your average everyday player. I love that there's a challenge. I love that there's the challenge. I also recognize that the challenge can be incredibly frustrating for other people. And that worries me just a little bit. I do think, however, a player with your skill and insight with AI behavior and map knowledge would make it look easier than it is even without Dimension Door or saves. I think the goal was to get a skeleton army. You find halflings in the southeast. That is true. There are halflings down here, and you can get tons and tons and tons of skeletons. Plus, at this point, Zounds of Peasants. You defeat those Zounds of Peasants, and you're getting a bunch of really nice skeletons. So yeah, and you're both right. Both of you are right. I don't know. It's just interesting. And I hope this doesn't sound like I'm saying that I don't like the FHeroes2 AI. I'm just recognizing the strengths and weaknesses that are here before us and calling it what it is. They are up to a horde of champions. We've got a horde of champions. We've got more Crusaders. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then you see you got to wander through this swampy area here. We're going to use Stay 5. We're not going to use any of our Dimension Doors until we come to this barrier. Yeah, there's a red barrier here. Don't know what exactly it's doing. Remember how we lost to those red and black dragons? And Tyro's just like, oh, I'm just going to go defeat this, no problem. It's pretty scary. Pretty scary. Tell you what, when the AI learns how to use Dimension Door properly, that's when it's game over for us, folks. That's when it's time for me to retire. Because what do you do if an AI is playing fully optimized and they're using Dimension Door fully well? There's the old saying that, how do you know when it's time to retire? The young bucks will let you know. And that really applies to physical sports and things like that. If it's time to retire, it's because, hey, you just can't keep up anymore. I won't be able to keep up anymore with the AI if it gets too much better. So this is going to be our final fight, folks. We're going to have Celia, the Necromancer, with 2 attacks, 6 defense, 9 power, 8 knowledge, 22 power liches, 43 Crusaders, 54 champions, 13 bone dragons, 42 vampire lords, and a whole smattering of spells. She's going to be our go-to to win this scenario. We do have Berserker available for us. That's wonderful. Yeah, I didn't see the Berserker until just now. That is thrilling, actually. That is a game winner. In fact, if you don't get lucky with a 5th level spell, like a Dimension Door, but you get a Berserker, that might be just as good or better. I mean, you can let that army of 134 Crusaders tear themselves apart with Berserk. Oof. In fact, hold on. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna save the game one more time. We're gonna save the game one more time. I'm sorry. I've got to see this. I'm gonna go see if I can defeat Tyro with Berserk. I just want to see how bad this would be. Maslow and Chain Lightning would have been epic with this artifact. Yeah, totally. Here, please indulge me. I'm sorry, folks. If you were looking at your watch trying to get out of here, I'm very, very sorry for the delay. But I have to see this. We're gonna make sure we have full spell points. Right now we only have 50. Maximus goes down. Don't really care. I just don't want Tyro to be in a castle. That's the only thing I really don't want. So let's go here. Yeah, because he can reach there. There's no other magic wells. Let's see if we can get him to come on back. We'll bait him in with just one more hero over here. And I think we're still going to lose, but it's going to be beautiful. Audio and video's a bit out of sync. I'm guessing you're probably right. I worry that the having the starts and stops a few times, I worry that might have put us in a rough spot. Whenever the stream drops, it causes some issues, so I do apologize for that. Okay, so we're gonna lose, but I want to see this Berserker in action. We've got the speed advantage. It's gonna go. Yeah, thank you. We're gonna go first. Tyro, 6 attack, 5 defense. I really want his Crusaders to just obliterate his friends. This train is nice. They're not gonna be able to reach us. We're just gonna skip. They don't cast a spell. And then we Berserker. And then we might as well obliterate some guys here. 74. Oh my gosh. Jeez. How many champions did you have? You had like 180 something and now you're down to 1. My word. You can only do that so many times. But eventually, you're going to be feeling pretty okay about yourself. I do wish that the Rangers had been the ones to take that attack, though. Yeah, we're going to get obliterated by Rangers, but we're going to do that one more time. In fact, because my Power Liches are going to be able to obliterate that champion in just one moment, we're going to stay back. Stay back. Jeez, they just killed 7 and 5 Bone Dragons. Woof. Ouch. Blind can stunlock the Crusaders after. Yeah, we don't have a lot of spell points, but we got a couple. And so now we're going to do it like this. We're going to Berserker here. Kill the one Crusader, so that way it's got to be Rangers that go down. And there goes 298 Rangers plus 100. That was all of their Rangers in one go. This is working out pretty well. And you know what? If there's only Crusaders left, that could work. And even if you don't win, still tons of losses for the enemy. Yeah, at this point with that one Berserker spell, we might be able to win this. We really might be able to. Because look, we're going to Berserker one more time. They're going to go kill some swordsmen here. And they are taking some losses on the retaliation, sure, but really they're just tearing their own army to shreds. To shreds, I say. Oh, and now you want to bless the method of your destruction? Kill the Bone Dragon for the skeleton. For the yeah, okay. I'll just here, one sec. I'll put him just out here. Oof. One more Berserker here. If they had an anti-magic, this whole thing would have been better, right? For them, they really, really needed a little bit more going on for them. So they're going to attack here. These veteran pikemen, even 270 veteran pikemen is more than we can handle. But I'm having a lot of fun with this. A lot of fun with this. Down to 93 Crusaders, 255 of the pikemen, and I love that haste. Folks, they don't have anti-magic, but they just hasted the Crusaders. We are officially done. We're gonna cut things off right there, because at this point we now are officially gonna get so dead so quickly. Yeah. And now there's nothing we can do. But even if Celia had taken a couple of 7-speed creatures, she could have done that without any of these troops. And then Maximus could have had the most of the troops, and then he could have maybe won in a straight up fight. Yeah, it's possible. It's all possible. We're gonna Berserk here one more time. Berserk and move your troops to the south. Yeah, I think that this is still a loss. Don't get me wrong, folks, but I like the way that this is going. Oh, I just realized he's going to berserker himself into my Crusaders. My bad. Oops. Going here and here. Oh, and I'm out of spell points, so I wasted my last one. Yeah, but isn't that fun to see? And so now I would surrender with 1,300 gold, and the losses are tremendous. 445 Rangers go down, 37 of the Crusaders, 187 Champions, 234 of the Master Swordsman, 40 of the Veteran Pikemen. So that is a viable strategy. There are opportunities. As tough as this map is, there are viable strategies where you don't actually have to cheat and use Dimension Door like I did there. Just saying, just saying. So, you know, winnable? I think that this scenario is winnable, even if you don't use Dimension Door and Town Portal. Again, you gotta get lucky up to this point. But anyway, so with that being said, thank you for indulging me on that. That was just fun for me to watch and fun for me to have a good time with. Let's actually win the game now. The Berserk was luck, absolutely. No, totally Vamp, you're completely right. The Berserk is absolutely luck, and if we say it's not, we're being disingenuous. So let's not do that. But there's always luck in the game. At every point, right? There's always going to be some degree of luck. You're going to get some 4th level spell. You could get terrible luck and get a very, very bad one. So yeah, pluses and minuses, ups and downs. And then in just a second, the Bone Dragons are going to fly over. Maybe, we'll see. I do have Chain Lightning. I don't know how useful that's going to be. Let's kill Rangers as much as possible. Might even want to Berserk Master Swordsman next. Let's actually wait on these Bone Dragons. But anyway, folks, this is the final fight. This is the fight that actually matters. Lord Krager the Knight, 9 attack, 9 defense, 2 spell power, 5 knowledge, blood, morale, Irish luck, 44 spell points left. He has cast a Steel Skin, no anti-magics yet. The champions are going to get to go next. I think we're going to let them. I'm wondering if we are going to see an anti-magic come out sooner rather than later. I don't know. We're going to hold on to our spell now. Because I'm thinking it might be the Master Swordsman. They get the Berserk next. Let's skip here. Bloodlust on the Crusaders. Interesting. We're probably going to shut them down in just a little bit. I have to Berserk these guys instead of these guys. I don't want to waste the Berserk on just 10 champions. And plus, these vampires are currently still doing their job, blocking off the Rangers anyway. I want the Master Swordsman to lose some of their numbers and attack the Crusaders. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, of course they would do that. Okay. And I don't want to attack the champions because I want to stay here on top of these Rangers for a little bit longer. The previous fight was in a castle. Was a win in a castle. The previous fight, like in the previous scenario that I did the first time. Previous fight was in a castle. We got to be careful with our spell points. 34 spell points left. Still haven't gotten through these fortifications. This is a bit of a struggle here. Oh, and I messed up. So he used the Cure or the Dispel to get rid of the Berserk, and that was well done by him. That was my mistake. My mistake. Turn order does matter when you're using these Berserks. Chain Lightning on the Pikemen. Yeah. No, your fight was against the big army? Okay. I could Chain Lightning the Pikemen. I'm starting to worry about my spell points. I think that my forces are still going to be better than his at this point. We've done plenty of damage. How much damage does the one Chain Lightning do? Let's just take a quick look. 360 points of damage. I don't know if that's enough. I don't think that's enough. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. So we're going to skip one more turn. Let the champions go. Steel Skin there. And now, can I kill 2? I can't kill... Oh, I will kill 2 champions if I attack the champions. But then if I Berserk the Crusaders, they might go off in the other direction. I still think that Berserk is my best spell. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to Berserk the Pikeman this time. Wait, did I just mess myself up again? I did. He's gonna cure that immediately. What was I thinking? This is why... whatever. Folks, this is exactly why I stopped playing after a certain point. My mind is gone. My nerves are frayed. My soul is intact. And I'm still feisty as ever, but my tactics take a sharp decline, and whenever they do, I gotta recognize that it's time to call it. And folks, it's time to go home. It's time to get this done. So the last final spells, let's just start dropping some Disrupting Rays on these Crusaders. That's gonna be the best thing for us. We've got plenty of forces. We just have to slow them down. I'm going to put the Crusaders back so that we don't take the first hit from those troops there. And here. Because I think that these Crusaders are coming straight out for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody's got to take the hit. Might as well be the champions. Here comes the Sealskin. Ooh, that was spicy. 13 Bone Dragons goes down due to the double damage. My word. Okay. And then we're going to do the Disrupting Ray one more time. Kill here. 2 to 5. Folks, I messed up. Folks, I forgot. He's got 9 attack, 9 defense. We just lost the scenario. I messed that up. Messed that up so bad. Because look, he's going to obliterate me on the retaliation. We don't have enough power to win this fight. I messed this up. Folks, when I say that my tactics dipped and we're losing, he's got 20 defense. The spell damage and having them tear themselves apart was probably the best thing. And we messed that up. Okay. And you know what? Here's the truth. At this point, I am satisfied. In fact, given that I restarted several times, given that we used the Dimension Door, given all these circumstances, I think that this is the most fitting way that we could actually end this scenario. Not with a victory, but with a loss. And I'm satisfied with that. I'm satisfied with that. I think that if we fought the fight again, that we would find a way to win. I do. I think that we would find a way to win because it would come down to more using spells because our might is not going to win, but our spells and our berserkers, I think that would actually be the win. But folks, I think that I'm going to take my losses here and say that this scenario at this time has bested me. And I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm at peace with that decision. I really do. If anybody says that they don't think I can actually beat this fight and then I'm just bowing out gracefully, I disagree with that. I think I can absolutely win this fight. I just misprioritized. But I lost. And it is what it is. Good thing that this scenario is optional. Hearts all around. Folks, Krager is Lord Krager, and he has survived my best shot, and it was a good shot. But overall, we are going to bow out gracefully out of this scenario and mark this down as a loss. So again, we play the game not because I win every time. We play the game because it's exciting and the game is on a nice edge. And I sincerely appreciate all of you for being here with me during that. This has been so fun and very much a different playthrough than what we usually do. So with that being said, folks, I promised that I will get a Discord up. I will have those details by the time that I post this video. And really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support. It blows my mind. With all humility, it blows my mind that I get the opportunity to talk to people from all around the world and from all different walks of life. And we're all here to enjoy this wonderful game together. And I'm just grateful for all the time that you spend here. It means the absolute world to me, and I'm so very thankful for everybody that takes the time to spend the time and watch. Thank you. I appreciate you very, very much, every single one of you. So thank you. Much love, broski. Thanks for the fun game. Thanks for the stream. Y'all have the best day. Take so good care of you, your friends, your family. Do the things that make you the most happy. Until I see you next time, take great care. And we'll call it that for the day. Thanks, Vamp. I'm Phixfox, and I'm out.